It's a slightly later one, but it's not too bad, is it? All messages are on. Time for some chit chat. Whew. Might just raise it up a little bit. There we go. Cool. No, actually, that's way too high. It'll be fine. Oh, my eye is really bothering me. I don't know if I've scratched it or something, but it's really irritated. My hay fever is better, but yeah, my eye, for some reason, they literally I don't know, half an hour ago, less than. Oh, so it's really annoying, really irritating. Hi, Ellie. Hi, Sienna. I love the new handle name, Becoming Sienna. I like that. And Kit as well. Good evening, Kit. Hope you're well. And how are you, Ellie? I would ask Sienna, but I know how Sienna is. I've already been talking to Sienna today enough. So a bit random. So, I'm raring to go with the dad joke. We'll get that done early today, so don't forget it. I'm in a bit of a distracted mood, if I'm honest. I managed to get a good night's sleep finally last night, although it wasn't amazing. It's just like enough, basically. But yeah, I had a pretty rough day just dealing with insurance. Well, not the insurance company actually today. It was the ABL. ABL One Touch is the name of the company, and I tell you this much: if anyone ever suggests that I have my vehicle managed by them again, they'll get told where to go. Them guys are a bunch of liars, and yeah, they've been caught out in many lies today, and I'm not impressed with them at all. So yeah, they have had me running around all day. I did talk to the people from Spectrum as well, the ones who actually have the van. They've been pretty useful. They've given me a lot of information, but my lord, honestly. Hey, Sparker's in. Good evening, Sparker. Hope you're well. Ellie distracted by the new handle. Sina saying, Ellie, I'm going to be starting my new channel for content soon. I'm going to change my name to something more positive. Yeah, it's. I love the idea of what Sina's going to do with her channel, and I think it's absolutely amazing. It's super brave of her. And yeah, just really amazing. Yeah, that's right, Sparker. It is amazing, isn't it? So yeah, I'm trying my best not to like blink too much, but this eye here is just, I swear I've got scratched or something. I've been trying to. Oh, thank you, Sienna. Yeah, I do my best. That's all I do. That's all we can ever do, isn't it? I'm gonna try not to rub it, but every now and then I just need to just pressing it a little bit. I'm just gonna hold it just for a relief, just for a second. It's really irritating. Hi, Greg. Good to see you, my man. Yeah, I'm mostly okay today. It's just been really stressful with as I was just talking about the company managing the repair of my vehicle, and all it's been today is trying to convince them to essentially book someone to return my vehicle to me, which has been monumentally difficult because the people over there at ABL have just been absolutely giving me the runaround, lies, more lies. Either, like, every time they say they're going to call me back, they never do. And they literally just like give me the runaround and everything, fabricate things just to kind of put the blame somewhere where it doesn't belong. Yeah, just really frustrating. Oh, do we have Emmy in? Hi, Emmy. Good to see you. Hope you're well. And hi, Gracie. Are you feeling down, Gracie? I'm sorry to hear that. Did you just change your yeah, it looks like Ellie's changed her handle as well to Love Kyle Alessandro. But I recognise the profile pic. That's what I went on for that one. And we have Mayana. Mayana, that's a lovely name. Use a hot compress. That's a pretty good idea, actually. Have I got anything I can use for that? I mean, I've got hot water in the bathroom, but I don't know if I can actually do anything that I've got to put it on there. But that's not a bad idea. Tell you what, I'm going to do that actually. That's a really good idea. Thank you. I'm gonna see what I've got. I have in here somewhere. I'm going to get some of this. I've got some kitchen roll, which if I wad up enough, I can probably make a bit of a pad. There we go. Solid. Let's go get this sorted and then I'll get back into the chat. It is being really irritating. I don't know if you guys have seen the bathroom. I think I have. No, I showed it to you on the first game. But yeah, it's a nice swanky bathroom. Let's get some hot water running. Pity I can't blow it better. So I'll be honest, I don't think blowing it would help. I've tried all sorts of things and it's just really irritated. But the idea of the hot compress might work quite well. If nothing else, that feels really good. Right, a bit random to do it while I'm on the stream, but there we go. All right, just dry the bottom of that a bit so I'm not dripping everywhere. I'm just going to hold that there for a little while. Let's go back in the other room. There we go. Doing everything no-handed now. Open and close doors. And yes, I am leaving the light on in there because it has to be on for the extractor to be on. And you may have noticed, but I've got my work cloths in there drying because that's what I do. I have to clean some of them in the bath and then hang them up in there to dry. Whew. The trials and tribulations of living out of a B&B. So, oh, good. Emmy's good. That's good to hear. Yeah, I mean, Senna asking about Gracie's other accounts. She definitely has plenty. Yeah, and I think the Arsenal one is definitely one of Gracie's by the looks of things. And he's saying ABL stands for another bullshit lifestyle. More like another bullshit lie, to be honest. Or another blatant lie. There we go. ABL, another blatant lie. I'm going to put that because I'm going to do them some reviews on Google and stuff, and I'm just going to put down like ABL. I know what that stands for. Another blatant lie. There we go. Hi Rosie, good to see you. And oh, we have to show the modded chat from Aiden because he says I look like Epstein, and I will quickly just give you the clap. Well done, Aiden, for being the first person to say Epstein in the channel, in the chat. I mean, sorry. Well done. Oh, dearie me. Always puts a smile on my face when some idiot comes in saying something so stupid. Here we go. Did I sing your song? I didn't sing it, no, but I did read it. I wouldn't know how to sing that, to be honest. Oh, I've got that auto chat translation thing. Let's get that off. I think it might be. I think it might be Kyle's fault, to be honest, Emmy, because he's so good. Obviously, you just absolutely love him. There we go. Rosie, I got home from work 5 minutes ago, but I'm happy you're alive. Oh, thank you, Rosie. It's sweet of you to come and see me that quick after getting home. Sienna's saying still time for a bath stream. Yep, indeed. I need a bath this evening, I think, after all of the day I've had. So I'm definitely going to have a bath, probably after the stream. I don't think maybe during. Oh dear. Yeah, I saw you say you're feeling down, Gracie, earlier, and I did ask you what you were feeling about. Oh, Ocean Eyes is in. Hi, Ocean Eyes. Literally, my eye has been feeling very itchy, and that has worked. Wow. Thank you to the person who suggested that. That feels a lot better. I might just put that on the other eye for a second, just because that got irritated from all the rubbing of eyes. I'll be honest, my eyes are a bit irritated today, just because hay fever and stuff like that. That has worked a treat, although my vision's slightly blurry out of that eye for a moment. And he's saying, look, there's the bath. Sparker saying he thought it was going to be a bath stream yesterday. Or could you imagine that if I'd waited until Sienna went home, and then the day she gets home, she's busy with her family, and I did the bath stream. Could you imagine it? She'd be beside herself, and I'd be in big trouble, wouldn't I? Um, I don't know what happened to it. Literally just a little while ago. I don't know if I got a bit of something in it or whatever. It was just dry. But it just all of a sudden felt like someone had a dagger in there, just like hunting around. And any time that I moved it, it was awful. Balaclava boy saying, "Shut your nose." I don't know what that means. I have very feminine hands, do I? Really? I don't think so, but if you say so. Loads of people asking about that. Well, I need to just scroll up now. Just lots of randoms in just saying, "Oh, can you shout me out?" Says Fredster the dog. Hi, Fredster the dog. Shout out, Fredster the Fred. Wow, that's hard to say. Fredster the dog. Shout out to you. Wow. Okay. Yeah, you asked several times. You've got your shout out now. There you go. And Joshua saying, "Widow's Peak looking a bit thin there, old boy." If you say so. I mean, it's looking rough today because I've got back from work. I haven't bothered to do much with it at all. I never really do. Hi Wayne, good to see you. Hope you're well today. Oh, my eyes. Yeah, every time I blink though, I think that eye's quite dry now. That's the trouble. We're just gonna try to force some sort of fluidy things in there. We go. So, Tenant Games, is that your wife behind you? If I had one, yeah, sure. That's exactly my type. Oh dear. Sienna with the constant innuendos. I love it. Can you see the painting? Yeah, sure. There you go. It's a quite a nice one, to be honest. They've got a similar one of a cow in the hallways outside in front of the other rooms, which I saw when checking out Sienna's room. Like I went up to sort of check it all out when I booked it up with the guy and got the keys. And it's the same red background, but it just has a cow rather than a horse. But yeah, it's quite a nice little photo, man. I quite like it, which is why it's in the background here, because it gives you a little bit of colour. Because I will be honest, the rooms are quite white and sparse in a way. There's a lot of just very white real estate and very high ceilings here. This room is at 12 foot tall easily. Could be more, could be 13, but it's at least 12 foot tall. So there's like loads of white. They did like a slight sort of greyish kind of accent wall, which is in between these cupboards, which are white. So it almost did nothing to accent the room. I'm like, yeah, you needed a bit more than that. And even the blinds are sort of grey and white stripes, and so is the bed. I was like, they needed more colour in here. They really did. So the most I can give you is the red from that. We've got oh, it's Mark in. Hi Mark, different handle name again as usual. We've got Sean in saying something weird. I know I've heard this one before. I had Jimmy Carr give the answer to this one, Joshua, about being 1 inch in your mum and your dad being 1 inch in you. Would you go forward or backwards? To be honest, I'd twist around 90 degrees. That's what I would do. And then run very quickly. And Daniel Burton shouting out, "Gay!" Only for you, Daniel. Only for you. Oh, dearie me. We get a lot of modded chat at the moment. What? Just weird, Joshua. No, as in twist 90 degrees to the side, like, you know, and then go. Like gold. Oh, I've got to show that, Ellie. Oh dear. Oh my lord. Ellie's got the comebacks, I tell you. Daniel, not as gay as your dad was last night. Ellie, that's brilliant. Oh dear. What are you saying? Correct. There's one person in the LGBTQ community who's watching, and that's my brother. He's next to me. What are we saying correct for? Correct to what? I have no idea. Yes, I remember you, Shadow Master. How are you doing? I hope you're well. Welcome back to the stream. Nice to have you. Sparker giving it the LOL. Dear me. Right. I mean, we've got jokes in tonight. If nothing else, the randoms are giving us some good stuff to laugh at. Right. Now, I mean, I'm going to mod this just for the sake of there isn't actually rude comments in it, like a rude word, but it's a weird thing from Turnip Games saying if I was 7 inch. I mean, like get your spelling right at least in your mum, and she was unconscious on the floor. Which was you? Would you move? You mean which way? I'm guessing as well. I mean a quick. Just beyond anything else, just a quick peruse of the message you've sent before you hit the send button would alert you to some of your spelling mistakes here. But I think I've managed to understand what you're asking here, but it still doesn't make any sense. The move I'd make is to probably like boot you off and then phone the police for the act that you're performing, because that's like obviously the R word, and we won't be having that in here. Just saying, do you sleep in a one-man tent? I tell you this much: I've been camping in one-man tents for a long time, and you ain't fitting no big man of any kind in them. I mean, I'm 6 foot, and I'm my head's touching one end, my feet are touching the other. You got to have like, you can't have any big man in there, I tell you. I mean, I've been camping with a big black one, Tim, and his big black one. But anyone who doesn't understand what I'm talking about with that one, you ain't watched any of my videos with Tim, and you should well watch them. If Tim was here, he'd be getting a good laugh. Don't worry, Rosie. It's okay. You haven't said anything bad in here. Do I want another joke? Asks Shadow Master. Always. We love the jokes in here. Oh, my eye. That has definitely stopped the itch, but now it's dry, which is annoying. But I'm just going to blink a bit and build up some. Is it tears? I don't know. Eye water. We'll call it eye water. Mark saying, you know that famous African guy who goes, "You are gay," or whatever. I don't know. That is hilarious. Do you know? I don't know that. I don't think I've heard of that. So I will say, how bizarre, just like Sienna. Shadow Master saying, why was the goose arrested? Because he was smoking quack and was high as duck. Oh, that's good. That is class. I'm going to reread that and try to memorize this. But why was the goose arrested? Because he was smoking quack and was high as duck. Smoking quack and high as duck. Why was the goose arrested? That is good. Amazing grammar. I would say that's my dad's job, but when she's unconscious, and then I would call the police. Yep, there you go. Do you know, Ellie and me think quite a lot the same stuff, you know. I reckon Ellie's just reading my mind. Spark saying, probably not just spelling badly, more like drooling on his keyboard. Yeah, I think you're right, Sparker. I think you're right. Joshua asking me some more random questions. I'm not going to be unmodding any more of these because they're getting a bit boring, to be honest. But Joshua had a modded comment, and the answer is, depends how nice you are to me, I suppose. You won't like that answer. Right, macaroni? I hope I'm saying that right. It looks like macaroni. Can I get a shout out, please? There you go. I hope I've shouted out the right name. Since saying, I only know now because you told me. I was very confused at first. What are we talking about, Sienna? Huh? How bizarre. What? Are you talking to me or somebody else? I don't know. I'm losing track of the conversations, to be fair. This is the trouble when I'm tired and the stream is absolutely flying on. I'm going to try and bring it closer. My eyes, honestly, I need less light in this room. I'm very tempted to change the light somehow. Tim's got the biggest one most people have seen, allegedly. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's so big, the bow in it, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's got a massive curve to it, that thing. Well, mind you, he's retired his big one, and now he has a reasonably sized one that's straight and true, and yeah, very, very stiff. Anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about. I love it. I really love it, honestly. Oh dear. Hi Shane. Good, Shane Carter. That is good to see you. I made it myself. Rate out of 10. What's this? Oh, are you talking about the joke? If you're talking about the joke, it's a 10 out of 10. Macaroni got the shout out already, and unless I said it wrong. No, he said yes. There you go. I got it right. Sweet. Saurus blah 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 saying hi. Yeah, hi. I can't say your name, but hi. Oh, Sienna's saying I was referring to Tim's big black one. Oh, right, yes. Okay. Yeah, I get you now. Grace saying, it's because I can't post on my main south to come, so I have to come. You're saying so you can't post on your main channel, so you have to come on here. Okay, I see. Why can't you post on your main channel? What's going on with that, Gracie? Jaden's saying, wow. Okay, I'm not sure what the wow was for. I'm saying, what happens if an Asian... okay, I'm going to allow this, but you're on thin ice here with this one, Mark. What happens if an Asian with an erection walks into a wall? I'm showing his point. He breaks his nose. Oh no! No! That's not right. That's not right, Mark. Great joke, though. Great. Oh dear. Right. Ellie doesn't know what we're talking about. Obviously, Ellie's not checked out all of my videos. My best ones are the ones where I'm doing with the lads. I'm not going to explain it, Ellie. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you need to go back and watch some of my videos. And the one that you should watch first is the one where me, Tim, Paul and Noah all go to the Peak District for the first time. I can't remember what it's called now, but if you go back and look through my channel, you will see a video where it's the four of us walking along as the thumbnail. And yeah, just check that out. It's well worth the watch. I'm going to put that back on. It's a bit colder now, but it might well help. So, it's Bailey just saying hi. Oh, here we go. We've got Bailey on Rose's count. Hi, Bailey. Nice to know you're both sort of hanging out together. Does that mean you guys live together? I am confused by that. Limon, I don't know, Liman, I don't know how we're saying that. Just go for Lim, I guess. Someone slashed my tent last weekend when I was camping. Ooh, really? Like when you say slashed, how exactly? Are we talking like just one car? Are we talking a bit? Were you inside? Give us some details. That sounds like an interesting story. Shadow Master saying, every second you want a joke, just say Shadow. Okay, well, Shadow, give us another joke. Come on. It's got to be at least closest to the as close as it's got to be almost as good at least as the other joke. And he's saying, "Are we talking about tents more?" I'm not telling you. You go watch the videos after this, and you'll get what we're talking about. The reference is in there somewhere, and yeah, it's worth the watch as well. And then you'll understand a little bit more about the story of me, Tim, and Paul to a certain extent. Right. I'm gonna disappear really fast, and I'm gonna actually not even take you for this one. I'm just gonna reload this with some hot water. You'll be able to hear me because the microphone should still catch the sound. But that really worked before. Got to do it again. Oh, that feels good with the hot water. I think that person came in to say one comment and went out, but that's a very highly valuable comment to just say, use a hot compress. Here we go. And I'm back. Sorry about that. Oh, Sienna sport it. Oh, Sienna, you're supposed to make her go watch the video. Oh, dearie me. A daily limit reach, says Gracie, about the posts. You have a daily limit on your channel for posting. What? Patrick saying middle class channel. Defo isn't van life. It definitely is, but just not right now. We are van life paused at the moment. So you're a new guy. I don't know if you're still in or not, but yeah, we are currently living in a B&B because my van got crashed into, and I have a shockingly bad company dealing with the repairs that have made things take over a month. Basically, I think it's about a month and a half now. I'm going to call it a month and a half. Jeez. I mean, it's wait. I think the accident happened on the 9th of February, so we're pushing 2 months now. Yeah, I think it's 2 months nearly. Yeah, it's almost 2 months. That's crazy when you think about it. Mark's saying that's right. Check the stats. Camping. What we checking stats? I don't know. Oh, Clue's back in. Said he had his interview today. Here we go. You'll hear back in 3 weeks. Oh, you've got to wait 3 weeks. You're joking. I'm all right, Clue. I'm a bit just cerebrally tired because of dealing with the idiots at ABL trying to get my van returned to me. It's very frustrating now knowing that the van was repaired and the van was finished and repaired on Friday, and they're just not getting it back to me. And I'll be honest, they might get it back to me tomorrow. So the update is that right at the end of their work day, I managed to force them to kind of get on with it. And they reckon that they've booked it with a company in Romford, I think it is. And I've looked at the company. I forced them to they hated dealing with me. I forced them to give me the details of the company, and I said, look, I don't believe a word of what you're telling me. I don't think you've put this in at all. But first thing tomorrow morning, basically just after 8 o'clock, because that's when the company opens their doors, I told them I'm going to be on the phone to this company and I'm going to ask them about the booking. And if they don't know what I'm talking about, there's going to be all hell breaking loose, because I will be absolutely just losing it with them, and there will be several complaints made, and I will literally the first thing I'll be googling tomorrow after that will be who do I report companies like them to get them in a lot of trouble, because that's what I'll be attempting to do if they've lied to me about this one. But I will essentially be getting the van back tomorrow if all goes well. But it has been a mad fight to get that to be the case. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough day. And then my eye is now being really annoying, so I'm gonna keep it closed for a little while. Rub it until it starts. So yeah, nah, honestly. Rose say no, he got home from Alaska today for 2 days, then he goes back. What, back to Alaska? Oh. Susan, hi Sue. Yeah, I'm not too bad, Sue. I've just told somebody else. I'm guessing you heard the answers. How about you, Sue? How are you doing? Yes, Eddie. We were talking about selfie stick. So spoiled. I like Sienna spoiled the whole thing. She should need punishment for that somehow. I have to figure something out. Oh, my eye, honestly, it needs a rub now. That's irritating. So Aye, aye, sir, says Javid. Aye, Javid. Uh, and Logan in for the second person saying about Epstein, so you don't get a clap for being the second person to mention it. Only the first person does that. And Javid saying, Doctor, I feel like curtains, pull yourself together. I mean, yeah, we've had that joke. That was very, very paraphrased, but yeah, okay. Oh, my eye, honestly, it's been such an aggro. Right, I'm gonna do the hot thing again in a second. Ellie's saying heading off. Bye bye, Ellie. Oh yes, it's about bedtime. Take care, Ellie. You're amazing too, and we all love you. All right. Oh yeah, I have a vague memory of you telling me something about this, Gracie, but I honestly I didn't know that there was such a thing. To be honest, it still boggles my mind a bit. That means you were very active, I guess. Hi, Teddy. Yeah, still in the B&B. Hopefully be out tomorrow. Fingers crossed, I will actually get the van tomorrow. I've just been going on and on at them, and I think I've managed to force them to get themselves sorted on it. The interesting thing is, the guy from Spectrum was literally reading part of the documents and stuff out to me so I could understand what was happening. That guy gave me all of the dirt on everything. And indeed, there'd been a lot of notes to say this thing was urgent and it must get sorted. And whoever's running this ABL One Touch place, they are a bunch of muppets. Like, pure and simple, that's all they are. It's crazy. Sue's saying, hi Grace, how are you? How are you doing well? Shadow's off. See you, Shadow. Thanks for being with us. Like saying, I mean, I think we can show that one, Mark. That's quite funny. It's not as good as the ones that Shadowmaster was throwing out, but it's not bad. Oh, the eyes. Hi, Fidel. Well, it's just that time. 10 o'clock's when like Ellie has her bedtime, and then other people seem to sometimes be able to come into about that time. We generally have like two separate audience types here. Well, there's three technically, but there's two that I'm going to talk about now, which is the ones who are the pre 10 o'clockers and the post 10 o'clockers. So you get the people who are in sort of early on. If I stream like say like 6, 7 o'clock at the start time, and I'll see people early on through the first couple of hours. But in around about this time, somewhere around 9:30 to 11, something like that, things start to shift, and I get slightly different people coming in until like around about 11 o'clock. You've got a lot more randoms, a lot of more different type of people in, and we get a lot more international people by that point as well. It seems to be, but there are some family members here who will come and join the stream whatever time I happen to start and whatever time I'll go till. So that's the third type, but they're not really part of that kind of like the 10 o'clock discussion, I guess, because it doesn't really make a difference to them. Teddy's saying, I think they've stolen your van and converted it into a Scooby-Doo van. Quite possibly. It might turn, if it turns back up completely black with red stripes down the side, I won't be too upset about that because I've always wanted an 18 van. So yeah, I do look like a pirate, Rosie, don't I, when I've got my eye covered. David's in saying, aren't you that guy who does that Man U channel also? No, I don't do anything to do with football because I'm not a football fan. Oh, my eyes. Oh, Theodore asking, why are you winking at me for that long? Because I like you, Theodore. And we got Tuba Hashmi from India saying, how are you? What's this channel about? I'm just chit-chatting today. This channel's about just life in general. Me being a van lifer, but also just, getting off and doing stuff. And Among Us H4D, yeah, you are not the first person to say that, and I can't even be bothered to unmod your chat. What happened to I? It just, I don't know. So it got scratched a little or something. I'm not really sure. I mean that. Do you know what's weird, right? Yeah, I sit here with this sort of thing, like and like everyone comes in and they're like, just now all the randoms stop to see what's going on. Anything at all of interest that's a bit strange will grab people, which I guess is why there's some channels out there like that. They're not doing anything particularly interesting. They're just doing wacky things or something that's out of the ordinary. And anything out of the ordinary seems to grab people's attention, which is really weird. But, you know, that's the way it goes. Mark saying I've got some kind of chlamydia. Does chlamydia do something to your eyes? I doubt it somehow. And then this is more to do with the fact that I get hay fever. And I think just the last couple of days while I've been working, my eyes have got dry and itchy. And I think that's probably just, I mean, my hay fever wasn't as bad today as yesterday, but I still had a little bit of a bout of it. It's always worse in the evenings, I find. So yeah, it's I'm pretty sure it's just got something to do with that. Saray Christie, well, Christie, let's go with Christie, says on it back, but no. What on earth? I can't make head nor tails of that. Just something about some cats fighting, I guess, whatever. How do you mog somebody? What's mogging? Like, I know what mugging is, but what's mogging? That's unusual. Aizen edits? I don't know. Is that what we're saying? What's Teddy been saying? What's saying this one? My workplace has become very toxic. I've lost my mojo as well as my shoe, says Teddy. Damn, sorry to hear that, Teddy. I don't know what is it you do, Teddy, and can you just like maybe switch to like a new company or something or department? Because there's nothing worse than having a toxic workplace in terms of like jobs and stuff. Because you can have a job that you're not that keen on, but if everyone's nice there, at least you can have some nice chat. But if you're dealing with toxicity in the workplace, it's so difficult. Alien's in. Hi, Alien. Good to see you. Oh, we've got people in the chat who know each other. Fair enough. We've got Among Us stalking Saray. There we go. Stalker's in the chat. Could you put a little salt in the water, make a sort of saline solution for your eye? Would that be good for your eye? I don't know. It's actually feeling better now. I just did this thing where I just rubbed my eyebrow, and for whatever reason, that's actually helping a lot, and I don't know why. Why is that helping? That's weird. I'm going to do that a few times and see if it continues to help, but that is weird. That's helped loads. I don't know what the human body sometimes. Why does rubbing my eyebrow help that? Like that just really helps, and that just that is weird. I don't know why that helps, but it did. Sebi's in. Hi, Sebi. Sorry. Sebi, why are you so insecure? He's asked me. Insecure about what? You'll have to explain that one to me. Teddy's talking to Gracie. I'm just going to start skipping some stuff. I'm so far. Whoa, I'm massive behind. Hi, now I think you're in. I'm just going to quickly check this modded chat. Mark's asking about foreigners coming and about my take on stuff. I'll be honest, I don't even know if that's a thing. I don't have much saying it because I don't even know if that's a thing. And Ahmed is in, mentioning Epstein again, but you are like the 5th or 6th person tonight. You're literally just too late to get a clap even for that. Good evening now. Hope you're well. Oh, Pookie. That's a nice name. But has retracted the statement. Never mind. Uh, April Fool's finishes at 1 p.m. It does it. Ah, I see. Why 1 p.m.? Solid's in. Hi, Solid. Swamp fever. No, I've got hay fever. That's what I've got. Sue's saying hi to Noah. Yeah, now we're getting highs. Joe's in as well, with the usual chili con to say hi. Basically, that's the standard greeting from Joe. But good to see you, Joe. Welcome back in. Teddy's saying I managed a hotel that is basically on its last legs due to lack of investment. The head office is the issue. My staff are fine, but my director is a limp idiot. I mean, yeah, that'll do it all right. I mean, quite hard, the hospitality industry as a whole, just for as an environment to work in, I feel. I mean, it depends on the job. Like Jess, the lady that I met who cleans the rooms here for like on a couple of days a week, she works at Centre Parks in, I think they say it's in Woburn, but in reality, I think of it as being in Ampthill because it's right close to Ampthill. It's in, I think it's in Woburn Woods or something like that, or Woburn Sands Woods or something. But I mean, it's basically Ampthill. I think they've just chosen that because Woburn's a bit more upper sort of market name, and the village over there is actually a lot like nicer. But it's definitely like closer to Ampthill, and the entrance is over that way anyway, or Flitwick even, but. They obviously want it to be like associated with the other spot. But yeah, she works over there, and she was saying how it's a lovely job. She gets to like look after certain people who come to the park, and sort of, I suppose, kind of organise their time a little bit and entertain them and stuff. Sounds like a really cool job. Oh, Pookie has said, hey Pookie. I like saying that name, Pookie. That's a really nice name to say. That's actually brilliant. Oh dear. Tuba saying, never rub eye directly. Rub above eyebrows, maybe increasing blood. Oh, here we go. So you're saying maybe increasing blood circulation, reducing irritation, but not touch your eye directly. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna believe that. Since I've rubbed my eyebrow, my eye has felt a lot better. It's starting to dry out a little bit now, so I'm going to do the whole blink a bit and try to get some eye water flowing. There we go. Thank you, Pookie. I appreciate your kind words. From your profile pic, if that is you, you look pretty handsome yourself. Lipsy Lou, is that, am I saying that right? Lipsy Lou is saying, hope things get better for you, Teddy. Oh, that's a really nice sentiment. I like that. Nice to have some people in. So, Lipsy Lou saying, so the jokes stop and don't go on all day, LOL. It's always finished at 1 p.m. Fair enough. Right. Talking of jokes, though, we need to do dad joke of the day. So, a slice of apple pie is $2.50 in Jamaica and $3 in the Bahamas. These are the pie rates of the Caribbean. That's awful. That's really bad. These are the pie rates of the Caribbean. That's so bad. I mean, that's one of those that is so bad that it's kind of like, it's scored so high on the bad rating that it's circled back around and it's back kind of almost funny. Oh dear, that's so bad. Mark saying, Camping, you don't follow GB News, do you? No, I don't follow any kind of news, to be honest. Oh, you're watching a bit more Slow Horses now. Are you on current season or are you on a previous season? I'll be honest, I watched the first season, tried to watch a bit of the second one, didn't really get into that. Kind of, it was, if anything, I find Slow Horses too slow. I mean, they named it right. They called it Slow Horses. Yeah, it's slow. But I just, does it get better? I don't know. I did like the first one. It was slow, but I kind of, it was okay. So, what's going on with Tuba and Spark? Let me see. I won't go back up and see what Tuba says. Tuba says, no. Oh, I see, yeah. And then Spark was saying some sound advice, apparently, Tuba. There we go, yeah. Yeah, Tuba was the one giving me the the lowdown of why rubbing my eyebrow helps. Big kiss to you as well, Lipsy. Well, hold on. Is Lipsy Lou sending Teddy the kiss on me? I don't know. Right. So med student says too, but that's interesting. Where were you a med student? Here in the UK or somewhere else? Two was saying they study. Clueless. Yeah, Clueless. You. So it was for your interview was to be a paramedic. Was that right? I don't know. Or something to do with paramedic stuff, isn't it? We've got modded chat. It will not show me the modded chat, please. Come on. Teddy's going to be hiding everyone's shoes. Fair play. Gravity saying you're doing amazing. Well, thank you. Javid saying ice on eye. Do you know what? That's normally what I do. I actually, do you know what? I used to keep a can of drink in the fridge just to basically hold it against my eye, and that would be really quite nice. No politics here. GB News is just a right-wing political channel. See, no one knows more than me about all this politics stuff. And once again, I don't even know what a right wing is anyway. Is it like, you know, flap, 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 flap on the right hand side? I guess that's what we do. Every avian creature has one, I guess. Well, unless they've lost it in an accident. So Teddy's saying, would you let... That's a bit... whatever, Teddy, honestly. One thing to think it. It's another thing to say it, Teddy, honestly. To be giving it the right info here. That sounds like solid advice, right? The joke's about, yeah, that it was a bad one tonight. Season 5 of Slow Horses. Okay. Proud something or other saying, bro, you look like Epstein. It's been said enough times. Yeah, so many tonight now. So many Epstein comments. And to be fair, we gave the clap out to the first person to say it, as always. But all these other losers, just too slow. Simple as that. Brandon saying, really love you. Thank you, Brandon. Love you too. Proud saying, sorry, man. I love that. Comes in, first comment is, bro, you look like Epstein. And the second one is, sorry, man. Fair play. You just look too much like Epstein. Fair enough, mate. Fair enough, if you think so. I mean, looking like people ain't no bad thing. Ishan saying, yeah, another one with it. Wow. Oh, dear. Well, if you all stick around and make fun of me for looking like Epstein, it'll be good for the stats at the very least, I guess. Just don't spam and we'll be all right. So I can talk to the rest of the people here who actually got some sense to them. T was saying, it's Gracie, first correct your posture and stretch a little tip. What on earth? What on earth is Tubert saying? I don't understand. Oh, Ellie's back in. Ellie, what are you doing? I thought you left. It's well past your bedtime. Young lady, go to bed. Naughty, naughty. Well, mind you, you haven't got school, have you? So it doesn't really matter. Clue saying, I interviewed for a paramedic course. Oh, it's for course. Oh, I see. But I studied biomed. There we go. I know it's something to do with that. The details sometimes get straight past me. Sorry, Clue. Diva Feverins, and I remember you, so welcome back. What's your IQ? Are you asking me or somebody else, Diva? Silent Damsel's in. Hi, Damsel. Good to see you. Hope you're well. How are you doing? Tuba saying there was no need of dying. He looks good. Why to cover something temporary when someone is rocking his natural? Are we talking about dyeing hair now? Who has somebody said something about that? I don't know. Whatever. Got a hey to PCJSPM. Proud to say, not in a rude way. Sorry about that. No, you're all right, dude. You carry on. Yeah, I'm pretty sure my personality is better. Oh dear. But you know, we never know who's getting up to what in this world, do we? Carl's saying I have white peoples. How many peoples do you have? Are you collecting them? Oh dear. You haven't offended me, Proud, didn't you? I just find it funny that you came in, said that off the cuff, and then apologised. Most of the people who come in just say that. It's the only thing they say, and they disappear off before we get into the chat. So yeah, to be fair, there's at least 2 members of our YouTube family. And if you don't know what I mean by YouTube family, essentially it's the people who come back time and time again enough and often enough for me to then remember who they are, and we've had conversations and I know something about them. Generally speaking, it's very hard for me to remember somebody that I don't know anything about. So I have quite a unique mind, and one of the things is I can't remember like what people look like that well, because my mind doesn't remember people for how they look, but for how they behave and who they are. So I build up like a personality matrix that describes that person in my head. So I sort of, it's not even necessarily based on little tiny facts. It's just a general kind of idea. You can almost call it like an aura of what people are like, but it's not a visual thing. It's like it's just like an idea of that person, you know, sort of like how good or bad they are, how, you know, what they're like in a situation, what kind of conversation they like to have. This sort of, it just builds up, and I kind of have this impression of somebody, of who they are. That's how I remember people. So if somebody comes in, doesn't really say much, it's very hard for me to remember them. Other times, you know, they'll come in, they'll only say a little bit, but what they say is really, you know, impactful. It gives me something to remember. And then if they come in enough times and I start to remember them and I start to build up a picture of them, then they're part of my YouTube family. So, and as I'm basically saying, at least 2, but maybe more of the YouTube family actually started off with an Epstein comment. So, but then they stuck around, they calmed down, and they were like, yeah, we like the stream, we're chatting away. And yeah, it was good. It's all good. Proud saying, nah, man, we ain't making fun of you. Well, you are, but it doesn't matter. Diva certainly got a fever, brain fever, says Sparkle. What, did we get any more comments from Diva? I don't know if we did. I can't remember what Diva was saying. Are you a football fan? Asked Diva. No, I'm not really. GB News ain't far right enough. If they go far right enough, then they come back around and they're on our left. The world being round a sphere as it is. Don't tell the flat earthers though, because they'll get upset. So I'd certainly like to position myself on Moldy's Island. Sienna. Have we got a racist comment in? Is that right? So I saw that from that. I'll be honest, I didn't understand what that was, but now it's saying, if we think that's a racist one, Noah, we might ban that guy. We don't want that in here. Antok FC saying 111 IQ. Interesting. Oh yeah, there was a question about IQ earlier. Who was asking that to who? Curious that. No, asked me to block that guy. Fair enough. I will do that now. I'm going to go up and find that comment. Blocked. Boom. Sorted. There you go, now. Sorted. No probs. Thank you for pointing it out to me now. Appreciate you. Losos? I don't know. Saying, do you like Costco rotisserie chicken? Do you know, I've never actually been in a Costco. I would like to. Like, there's one in Stevenage, not far by, and the fuel price there is always way better than everywhere else. And and so I have been tempted to get a Costco membership just so I can fuel up. And I'd be interested to walk around the store and see what it's actually like. But I've never tried their rotisserie chicken, so I can't answer that. But yeah, I'm sure it's good though. PCJSPM saying Nacho hasn't been on the live for a while, luckily. Well, Nacho got banned, I think. Or he just got put in a mad timeout and I was going to ban the next 10 came in. I can't remember. But yeah, Nacho was not pleasant. Damsel saying stressed. My kid didn't have the shower curtain in the shower quickly and soaked my downstairs bathroom roof. Whoa! Do you know what though? I've done that before. I have done that before. I've had it outside the bath rather than inside, and and you don't realise until it's too late, and it's like it's just a flood. And you're like, whoops! Proud saying because I thought hardly people say it. I don't know why I said it. That it's an offensive comment. Plus, as a Muslim, it's rude to make comments like that, and I realised my mistake, so I sincerely apologise. Yeah, sorry, nice one, Proud. Do you know what? We all make mistakes. The people who with actual character are the ones who can acknowledge it and make it right. Apologise at the very least. So respect you for the apology. Take care, Noah. Cheers again for the heads up on the other person. Pookie saying Seoul. I don't know. Where are you from, Pookie? If you don't mind me asking, I'm from the UK. Clue saying, "Oh man, damsel, be careful, look out for mold and stuff. We had massive problems with it. Oh yeah, that stuff will cause you some headaches, won't it?" Yeah. Pookie saying, "I'm a woman." That was kind of assumed, to be honest, Pookie, from your profile pic and the name Pookie. I mean, I guess assumptions shouldn't be made, but I do make them. My brain wants to assign like certain things to people. Mark saying, "Why does everyone get so offended by jokes these days? Anything is considered racism if you are white." Nah, it's not about you. It's not about the colour of your own skin so much as what's coming out your mouth, I think, or what your behaviour is doing. Yeah, Sparker concur, and it's happened as well. Yeah, Proud saying, "But you're a good person, bro. Don't take offence in these shitty comments. You're a humble person." Well, I try to be, but I'm just me. To be fair, I don't take offence from it at all. I have fun with it. That's why the first person in any night who says Epstein or Jeffrey or whatever, they get a round of applause, because it's always a laugh to see somebody come in and think that that's the first thing that they should say. But admittedly, it does get a bit old when quite a lot of people are saying it in one evening. Not because I'm bothered by it, but just so much as it's just taking up room in the chat, and I'm trying to follow what everyone is saying. And as you might tell, I'm behind the chat always because I'm trying to rush through answering people, because I try to answer as many people as possible, but it's a big rush. So here we go. Tuba says, "Do you know hair dye causes more grey hair to form?" Really? It's a vicious trap. Never apply it if it's not an emergency. Yeah, I mean, I'm too lazy to be bothered to dye. You can see my lovely silver locks. I get called the silver fox enough. I love that. People come and go, "Oh, silver fox." I'm like, "Oh, sweet, thank you." So it's polarizing. Some people come in and go, "Oh, grey hair, Jeffrey Epstein." And it's like, well, okay, he's not the only person in the world with grey hair, whatever. And then other people come in and go, "Oh, silver fox." And I'm like, yeah, I'll take that. So, but essentially, the most prominent thing about me when you turn up is, yeah, grey hair. And like, especially when I've got the beard on and it's getting a bit grey in there now as well. So yeah, it is what it is. YouTube system saying, "What's that in the back?" You mean my wife here? Yeah, that's that's a joke from earlier. Oh, Korean, says Pookie. That's cool. Oh, do you know what, Pookie? You've been in before, haven't you? And you told me you were from Korea. I remember this. So you've been subbed to me for a while, haven't you? I do seem to recall you being here before. In which case, that's awesome if you've been subbed to me for that long. And Sinner will tell you, I love when somebody subs to me. Another one mentioning Epstein. I can't even do you know, the first one says it, if they get modded, I unmod it just to basically show it and give the clap, but I cannot be bothered later on. Ellie's still here. Going to bed for real. Good night, Ellie. Love you. You take care. PCJ SPM saying, you're cute. I wish you were my daddy. I ain't nobody's daddy. Clue saying, night caps lock Ellie. PCJ saying, then I could do some cheeky things. Well, cheeky things are always welcome. Let's see. Clue saying, keep rocking. Sue saying, take care, Eddie. And Sparkers, well blocked, Moldy, no place for racism here. Yeah, well, Noah says do it. I get it done. Hopefully I did it before he actually left. I am so far behind. Okay. Proud asking what the channel's about. It's just about me and life. So sometimes you see me and my lads, or just Ethan these days most of the time, playing some games, going out having some adventures. I show off my van, projects I'm doing. Sometimes I'm out doing a bit of camping, collecting firewood, having fires, just random stuff really. It's going to be about a bit more concise type of content eventually. I do have some plans for the channel, but you know. Sin's saying, going to assume that PCJ is Nacho back again. Welcome back, darling. Yeah, I've made that assumption as well, to be honest, Sienna. We do get people coming in their alt accounts, and that's fine. I deal with each person, like, you know, I feel like that's like a second chance. When someone comes in with a different account and they want to try to act a bit differently and they're actually being respectful, then it's like, okay, you know, take your second chance and let's run with it. We don't mind that at all. Proud saying, I'm from UK too. Which part of UK are you from? I'm from a county called Bedfordshire, if you know it. It's a pretty boring county, to be honest. Sue saying, Sparker, there are a few around for sure. What's Sparker saying? Although I'm prejudiced against racists and idiots. I mean, I feel the same way as you a bit, Sparker, sometimes. I'm definitely not keen on either of those types. I think I'm less keen on a racist than I am an idiot, but yeah, the idiots can absolutely wind me up sometimes. But when I'm not talking about idiots, I'm talking about the stupid people. There's a difference between an idiot and a stupid person in the way that I use it. Because if I call somebody a stupid person, I mean something very specific. And anyone who knows me close enough knows what I mean by that. So if I refer to somebody as a stupid person, you'll know that I have very, very low opinion of them indeed. But an idiot is just someone who's not thinking, like, you know, because you can get people, I do idiotic stuff all the time where I just didn't think about what I was doing or saying. And then afterwards I can, you know, I spot it and berate myself for it sometimes. I'm sure other times I probably miss it and don't even realise. Clue saying, yes, and I reckon you're right. What was Sienna saying? Oh, yeah. Damsel saying she's 11 years old, too busy in the shower, singing and dancing, thinking it's a karaoke night. I love that. I absolutely love that, damsel. Don't punish her too harshly for it, or even at all, because, you know, just maybe let her clean it up herself, and then you just check it's done right at the end. That's probably punishment enough, to be fair. Sparker saying, thank you for asking, Sue. I'm actually suffering from a really bad man flu, but I might survive. No, there's no surviving man flu. You're done, Sparker. You're done. Just lay down and surrender. No, feel better, Sparker. I hope you feel better soon, my man. PCJ, maybe you're Nacho's brother, Dorito, then. I love that. Oh, dear. Sienna, you got me good. Oh, dear. Oh, Joe's back in with some more emojis. You love that emoji, don't you, Joe? Fair play. It is a funny emoji. Teddy's saying, I don't even think you look like Epstein. No, I don't. After so many people actually coming in, I did bother to Google like him and have a look at what he looks like. I'm like, I don't look at anything like that, dude. The only thing we have in common is that we both have grey hair, and our hair doesn't even look the same grey or the same style or anything. So, yeah, I'm like, that's just people just trying to force something where it, like some connection where it isn't. Just mental. Hi Palm Beach Pete. We've had somebody say that before, but I don't really understand the reference. PCJ saying, right, trust me, I'm not Nacho, and it's honestly offensive that I'm being compared to that kind of person. Yeah, let's leave that alone now. Let's just, let's not go on with that. So Sonia saying, subs are very prevalent. We're looking for as many as possible. Yes, we are. We like some subs. Spark saying, it'd be good if you could give them the clap. Okay. Another Jeffrey, and the algorithm brings me here, mate. Boss Horse Arts. Well, thank you. It's not mine. This is not my place. This is a B&B that I'm staying in while my home is... it's now repaired. I'm just trying to force some people to give it back to me. Jeez, talk about ransom some guy's home from him. It's ridiculous, really. Proud is saying, as is, you're not the only one to notice, but don't comment that again. Appreciate. Why are streets saying I'm Nacho? Oh my God. Yeah, I feel like we'll leave that alone now because we can't be certain. And PCJ has been very nice in the stream, so I appreciate you being here, PCJ. Let's give PCJ a break. And we've got Warren back in saying, remember me? Yes, I do. It's been nice on the first time you came in, but you're back again, and we're going to give you a shot to be nice, and that's good. Another Epstein thing in the mod. Okay. Where do you go camping? Anywhere in Scotland? Asks Stephen Bradley. Not so far, no. But it's not out of the realms of possibility. I've just been a bit lazy and haven't got up to Scotland, but I might do that soon. Especially now Ethan's going to school, I might have the chance to actually get up on a long trip. It could be the thing to do. Clue saying, I may be an idiot, but I'm not stupid. Yeah, that's that is that is kind of what I would say about a lot of people, potentially myself included. Oh, Proud asking if Sienna's my girlfriend, but Sienna has immediately answered with no, we're friends. There we go. Warren saying, remember, yes, I remember you. Sorry, Warren, I'm well behind in the chat. I'm going to try to catch up again. Oh, Beth is in. Evening, Beth. Hi back to you. Lovely to have you here. Dan saying, my bathroom roof downstairs needs repaired. I did apologise for the tone in my voice. Told her it's fixable and accidents happen. Just be careful next time and stop trying to do the YMCA in the shower. Was she doing the YMCA? The YMCA or whatever, I don't know. Lucifer's in saying hi. Hi, Lucifer. You haven't, I hope you've left the thermostat at the correct level down there. We don't want it freezing over, if you know what I mean. Now, my eye is actually feeling a lot better. That's weird. That is weird how rubbing the eyebrow has really improved that so much. That is mental. I won't be touching my eye at any time today. If I need to rub it, I'm going to rub my eyebrow. I'm going to test that the next time I get an itchy eye and just rub the eyebrow and see what that does. Yeah, people noticing Sienna's new name. Again, the work name. See you, Clue. Yeah, you just enjoy yourself, man. Relax and don't worry too much about the results. You got wait 3 weeks. I'm sure you did well though. Pancake saying, you seem like a nice chap. I wish you all good. Thank you very much. That is a lovely way to come in and introduce yourself. I wish the same for you. That is lovely. And it's giving it a little yawn. Ever been in Dewsbury, says Proud? No, I don't think so. Where's Dewsbury? I mean, I might have been put through it, maybe. If is it in England or Wales? It sounds like an English place. If it's in England, I might have driven through at some point. I've done a lot of travelling in England. And I'm finally up to date with the chat now. Woo, Banana's in. Hi, Banana. Good to see you. What's that emoji by Pancake? Oh, lots of pancakes. Okay. Yeah, my eyes are definitely light sensitive at this point. It's not good. Oi. Proud time, I'm around 3 hours away from Luton. That's a weird way to say it. 3 hours away from Luton is a long way from Luton. I mean, I'm not in Luton, so that's a weird reference. Um, yeah, it's in England. England says proud. So is Dewsbury where you're from then? PCJ saying my boyfriend likes you. Thanks, I guess. Oh, dearie me. And so you say, Molly, are your eyes better if you wear your glasses? Probably not. Um, they usually irritate my eyes a bit if I have them on and I'm like this. It's the light, to be honest. The light is really bright in here and it's flickering. I have quite a lot of light sensitivity. Now you might not notice this because my eyes don't come up very well on the camera, but I have very large pupils, as does Ethan, which is what makes Ethan look really cute, I think, because his are slightly bigger than mine, to the point where he had his eyes tested when he was a bit younger, and the person doing the assessment said, "Oh, this," and they kind of noticed this and were like, "There might be something wrong with your eyes. We need to kind of get them tested." So we went off to a specialist. The specialist kind of like was looking at them, going, "Yeah, they are very wide. That's could be a few things, but it could be nothing. Could just be genetic, but it could be other stuff." And I was sort of chatting to her and said, "Yeah, well, he does have like light sensitivity. If you like, he goes from a dark room to a light room, but it's just the same as me. I get that too." And then she kind of looked at me and she went, "Oh," and she then looked close at me and she goes, "Oh no, you have really big pupils too. It's just genetic probably." Um, and then at that point, yeah, she just kind of like did a quick test, and then yeah, nothing came back. His eyes were fine, and it was literally just that me and him have really big like pupils essentially. Um, so what was Proud saying? Oh no, wait, I've missed loads of stuff. Whoa, Proud saying, I don't know. I'm only 15, bro. I didn't pick geography. I picked history. Oh, well, we've got another teen in then, I guess. But yeah, it's Proud saying, I have no idea about the world map. How do I explain? No, no, you're fine. You're fine, Proud. I ain't making no fun. It's just a weird reference to go with Luton. You could have gone somewhere closer than you. That's all I'm saying. Um, but if you're saying Bradford, I think I know where Bradford is. Yeah, I think I know where Bradford is. Yeah, yeah. So you're somewhere near there. You're basically, I think you're north of me, basically somewhere. If I'm right, I could be wrong. So Spark is saying, yes, I played it when I was first came out, but back then you had to land on the planet builder base level up. What is? I think he's talking to somebody else. I don't know what that is about. PCJ saying you have really nice skin. What products do you use? Water. That's the products I use. Water. I mean, on my hands, I put a little bit of oil on them if they get a bit dry. Just literally because I have it about sunflower oil. I would use olive oil if I'd use extra virgin olive oil if I could guarantee it was definitely olive oil and not just some weird nasty oil that has been packaged as such. But because I can't be guaranteed that, I don't use that. So yeah, I use sunflower oil, but I could use other oils. I would use coconut oil, but that has way too strong a smell for me. I don't like that. And also like it could give me a little rash because coconut is one of the things that I'm allergic to in terms of the protein in it, because I have oral allergy syndrome, and that includes a lot of fruits and vegetables and nuts that just, it's a protein in them. So it's not like a life-threatening allergy, but it does irritate things. And so if I put that on my skin, it could flare things up. So I generally avoid that. But there are other oils if I want to get them, but they're just very expensive, and it's like not that much point really. Damsel saying, so Spark and Damsel are talking about the game. Okay. PCJ saying, do you like Percy Jackson? Boyfriend says you remind him of Paul. I vaguely remember it, but I don't. I don't really. Like, I'm not a massive fan of that, so I don't know who you're talking about. But yeah, Sparker saying, yes, it's a great game for blah, blah, blah. Proud to. Wow, we've got a lot of random stuff coming in. So Proud saying, I have family in Luton. That's why the first one. Remember. Oh, okay, that makes more sense now. Okay, I got you. That makes some sense. Yeah, I mean, Luton's a funny place, I'll be honest. I don't like driving in Luton. But I have been to Luton recently. I dropped Sina off at the airport there. So, yeah, I'm not far away from Luton, to be fair. It's depending on where I am, because as a van life, I kind of move around a fair bit. I could be anywhere like maybe 15 minutes from Luton, up to maybe like 45 minutes or even an hour away, depending on exactly where I'm being parked. PCJ asking for some of my nuts. I don't have any nuts with me, unfortunately. Well, only a couple, and I don't know how tasty they are, to be honest. Damsel saying, set fire to my character and the flames caught onto my house. Talk about wildfires. I guess you're talking about this game still. Sounds interesting. I'd be interested to just watch someone play it rather than actually play it as a sort of game like what you're talking about, I think. Saying, Damsel, what did I come back to? Yeah. PCJ saying, my boyfriend just told me he's gay. I mean, sure he's not bisexual if he's with you. But also, I feel like PCJ's just having fun with us. In all fairness, proud. That would be a very random. That would be a very weird thing to actually, if it was real, to actually say on a stream to some random people, just like that. And also, it would be a very random time to tell somebody that you're gay. That doesn't make sense at all. So I think that's just somebody giving us a little bit of jokes in the chat. Sparker saying about the game, and then Damsel saying you should make a Twitch account and you can watch when I stream Molly. Oh, do you stream on Twitch? Do you, Damsel? Have you not thought about maybe uploading some of your streams to YouTube? I know some people who stream on different platforms do that. Do I need an account to watch? Can I get away without one? I know like you can watch on YouTube without an account. You just can't comment and stuff. Nick saying people mask compliance with normality. What do you think? Whoa, that's a big question, Nick. Whoa, people mask compliance with normality. That is a statement, isn't it? I'm not entirely sure what that means, to be honest. That's gone. So I understand what you're saying about people masking stuff. Masking compliance with normality. So you're sort of saying, like, you know, I guess like the way I'm reading that is more like what you're saying is that people do a lot of things where they say it's just a normal thing to do, like, oh, everybody does it sort of thing. But actually it's just them following the crowd. And the compliance part, I guess, is you're saying that realistically the thing that they're following to do is something that has been like almost like indoctrinated into you, which, like, yeah, I see a lot of people doing things all the time that it's just the thing that is expected to be done. But it's not a very smart thing from an individual's perspective or even from the group perspective, but it does benefit, say, people doing marketing and like people selling things. Like, for instance, so here's an interesting one. 5 a day. Good for you to have your 5 a day, right? But yet that's complete nonsense. Okay? Like, oh, you have to have your 5 a day. And it's actually complete nonsense. It was made up by people in marketing. It wasn't made up by some nutritionist who basically went like, you know, I've done all the research, looked into it, studied people's health and their eating patterns and gone, do you know what you need to be really healthy is 5 like fruits and vegetables per day, and these are the reasons, or anything like that. Essentially, it was made up by a marketing team, and it was very clever marketing. Got to grant you, because it sounds like it makes sense. Because realistically, what it's actually supposed to be is just have a balanced and varied diet. But that's very hard to say, because if you just ate a load of fruit, that would be really bad for you, right? Because fruit's very high in sugar. And things like how they can include things like, this what they include as your 5 a day. Like including orange juice as your 5 a day, one of your 5 a day is nonsense, because that's just sugar water, right? With a very small amount of vitamins in it and minerals, and actually it's not very good for you at all. But yet it's because it's part of your 5 a day, suddenly you think it's a healthy food. But it's they've tried to make it very simplified and almost black and white for the everyday person just to go, oh, we'll do this. And that, again, I guess is what I would see as compliance. Like some sort of marketing genius has gone on and people follow that and do that because they think, oh, that sounds like the thing I'm supposed to do. and it feels normal. And I'm like, in reality, you just want to get plenty of veg in a day. You know, you can have some fruit if you want it for a little bit of a treat. You want to get your fibre, you want to get your nutrients and your minerals and all that. But you can get them from a lot of sources, and you don't have to go with what they're basically saying in shops. It's crazy. But yet people don't always like to think for themselves. I mean, I don't get enough of my stuff, to be fair, just because of my oral allergy syndrome. It's very difficult to get my 5 a day in. So there we go. So Teddy's saying, do you know who Jack Tyson is? No, I don't. And perhaps then someone's joking, but I don't know who's joking. Dan was saying, no, I use Twitch only for streaming. Okay, fair enough. I mean, I did ask, can I watch without an account? Do I have to have an account? I mean, I might make an account just to come and watch you. When do you stream, Damsel? Like, do you stream regularly? PCJ says, going to go now, but it's been lovely talking to you. You too, PCJ. Been lovely having you in. Spock saying, yes, I don't think compliance is normality. Compliance is just going with whatever the status quo dictates. There we go. Sparker articulating that way better than me. I don't articulate myself very well, especially when streaming. I just kind of like spew forth the thoughts coming from my head as best as I can, to be honest. It's very difficult to put every one of my thoughts into words. We've talked about how people's brains work differently in the stream before. But yeah, people's minds work differently. Some people's work faster than others. Some people's work slower. Some people's work in words or images or like more complex things. And mine is definitely one of the more complex things, where there were probably like a million thoughts going in my brain at any given moment. And I have to somehow try to filter that down to what I want to say and not get distracted by all the other stuff that's going on. So it's really hard, but also it's happening so fast that I don't generally hear them. So there's no it's very difficult for me to add a filter in. So I don't filter very well. So I would call myself a straight shooter, but in reality, because saying I'm a straight shooter sounds better than saying, oh, I just spew forth what comes in my head without thinking about it. But that's essentially, I don't know what's coming to come out until it's out. And I'm still talking about what I'm talking, not the other end. Oh, dear me. Sensei Molly, I hope you wake up bright-eyed, handsome one. Hopefully it's V-Day at long last. V-Day? Blah, 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 blah. What? Family sleep and... Oh, we're talking about the Van Day. Yes, there we go. Took a minute, but I got there. First day back at work tomorrow, so I'm off to sort myself out. Sweet dreams, Chubbs. Sweet dreams, Sienna. You take care, beautiful. And I'll chat to you soon. I will be very interested to hear how your first day goes. PCJ saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a day. 1, 2, 3, 4 a day. It's good to eat the healthy way. Well, that's a weird rhyme, but okay. Yeah, Cherub, that's the way that Sienna talks. I love that. She's always so sweet with everybody. It's really lovely. Thank you, PCJ. I appreciate it. Malia saying hi. Hi, Malia. Is it Malia or Malia? Malia? Oh, it's hard to say that. I don't know which way. So, are we saying Malia is 1 and Malia is 2? I think Malia is potentially one way I'm leaning on that. But hi, Beth saying good night, lovely Sienna. There we go. So how are you doing, Beth? What have you been up to? Give me the lowdown. What have you been up to? Albert Dickinson in saying, because you're gay. Why? Because who is gay? What? Where? Why? That's a sentence without a point to it. I don't understand that at all. And then he has followed up with a modded bit of chat saying, you're a big closeted gay man. If you're talking to me, no, I'm not gay. But there's nothing wrong with being gay. Just you be you. No. PCJ, I am indeed straight. So I think it would be a lot easier if I was gay, I think it'd be easier dealing with men sometimes than it is dealing with women. Women can be an absolute nightmare. Just because they don't like to be honest with how they're feeling sometimes. And I don't know. I just feel like, I think just dating a man would be surely a lot more simple. But of course, I've never tried it, so I don't know. I'm just guessing. But yeah, no, women are my thing. Uh, I would say women are my Achilles heel, to be fair. my like my like guilty pleasure, if you like. the thing that does the worst things to me, but yeah, I can't get enough of. I just explain it. I tell you, explain it. Beth says, seriously, what's wrong with some of the people here? I tell you, yeah, the randoms, Beth, sometimes, but we just let them be them. Nick saying, true, Sparker. I was interested more in what people think of when hearing the words compliance and normality. Oh, there we go. Nick with the full-on sort of cerebral exercises here. I like that. Sorry, I did get distracted then for a second reading something. So Malia's saying, yay, I have ADD, but what does it mean? Can you say, please? You do not have to, though. The first one you said, oh, Malia. Okay, so it's Malia. Okay. What attention deficit disorder are you talking about? You don't know. If you have it, surely you know what it means. Dan was saying, no, I'm not a regular streamer. Just whenever I feel up to it or when I have the time. Oh, okay. Because it's like if I got an account, it's not like I can be like on there, like watching stuff loads. But I could potentially get one just to come and watch you and see what you get up to. But I think you said you're like a no-face streamer, anyway, weren't you? But do you talk and chit chat on there? Because I'd be interested even just to hear you talking about the game and to see what you're getting up to. That would be quite cool. Spark saying, I would say normality has an element of natural balance. I'd say normality, from my perspective, is whatever makes you comfortable. So normality for different people will be a different thing, because obviously there's cultural, but there's also personal. So normality for me right now would be getting back to my van. Yeah. So this is not normal, living in a B&B. I don't like this at all. Living in a building is not normal for me. So, and I'm not the only one who feels like that. There are other van lifers out there. There are other nomadic cultures like the Romanese and the Irish travellers, English travellers. There's a lot of travelling communities, like people who work on like circus and stuff like that. So yeah, for me, so for them, normality is very different to say somebody who lives in this country, works a 9-to-5 job, has a house, has a whatever, and leads their life. Maybe they go to the gym a lot, maybe they eat a certain way, and they spend their evenings with certain people doing certain activities, and to them that is normality. But then in another country, normality might be no electricity, living in a sort of mud hut, just hanging with family and friends, having a chat, maybe having a bit of a dance and sing along or whatever. And yeah, very simple life. And so yeah, for different people, normality is different. But for me right now, as a focus would be normality would be getting back to van life and being able to live in my own home. Beth saying not much, just shifting stuff around and getting a few bits sorted. Still at mine, haven't finished sorting all my things yet. I see. PCJ saying, trust me, my brother's going, he said he wouldn't wish it on anyone. Yeah, but is that why is that though? What particularly? So here's the thing. I like one of my best friends is well, he used to identify as a gay man. Now he identifies as non-binary, and but obviously he's still into guys. And he obviously good and bad points. Like a lot of things he's told me. There's been a lot of negativity. Because he's gone through an era. He lived through an era where it wasn't as accepted as it is now. So a lot of hardships, sure. But then a lot of positives as well. you know, he found a long-term partner and was happy with him for a long time. I mean, like any relationship, good and bad parts again. So, but I'm curious if you want to say what the particular things are that make him not wish it on anyone. Um, bro saying somebody saying, bro, he is AI. Yes, I am. I am artificially intelligent. That's for sure. Nick saying, I agree. Normality, society is so obsessed off that they almost cross the border into neglecting it. Nick with a massive stuff again, but yeah, okay. Spark saying, I agree, PCJ. I guess anything breaking norms is a challenge. What's PCJ's trust? Oh, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I'm getting the context of that, and I'm with you there, Sparker. Anything that breaks norms is a challenge. Quite often, just because of the people like in this world have an issue with people who are different from themselves, and it doesn't have to be sexuality. Just a different nationality is enough. This is where a lot of wars get started from. Just like, oh, you'll cross the border from us and do things slightly different. Ooh, we don't like you, and it's stupid. It's stupid. And that's the difference between being idiotic and being stupid. That is stupid. That is really just bottom of the barrel stupid. Pratish, I don't know if that's how we're saying it, saying, this guy is AI, bruh. I just said, yes, I know. I am artificially intelligent. PJ to get back to class. Fair enough. Twitch. FMF, so we're going to call you Twitch, says, so mate, I think the lighting is flickering with the camera. I think quite possibly these, like if I move my hand fast, I can tell that these lights flicker a little bit, but I didn't think it was making an issue on the actual stream. To be fair, I didn't think it ever made an issue. Malia saying, no, the two. Sorry, what the? I've lost the reference to that. And I do not. So sorry. I have dyslexia. That's right. I'm dyslexic too. It affects me differently to a lot of other people, to be fair. But yeah, I was diagnosed with that when I was at university, to be fair. I prefer to call it three-dimensional thinking, because that's what it is. It's the difference between somebody who thinks in 2 dimensions as opposed to 3 dimensions. And as I was saying a little bit earlier in the stream, my mind is definitely a 3-dimensional thinking beast. And that's what it does. Everything is 3-dimensional. But I seem to have worked out a trick where my 3 dimensions can essentially not get affected by having to translate into 2D, which means that I don't have problems with reading and writing as much as some people do. My dad, who's also dyslexic, he's not good with the writing, I'm going to be honest. And he has the kind where basically he will just switch between lower and uppercase, like as he goes through a word even. It's just hilariously funny watching him write something down. He just do random capital letters in the middle of words everywhere. Oh dear. And I like it just tickles me. It's not a big deal, but it just tickles me. It's just a funny point for him. But yeah, but I read a book about dyslexia when I was diagnosed with it, and they explained quite a few things. One of the ideas was that for dyslexic people who can't switch off their sort of the bit of their brain, which is basically a very useful thing in a 3-dimension thing, where it has a tendency to be able to change perspective in a 3 dimensions. So, for instance, like I can see things from different places in the room. It's a bit different for me than it is the classic where you can sort of change your perspective. I can do that, but at any given moment, I'm actually seeing all perspectives, which is weird to explain to somebody. So one of the tests they do for dyslexia these days is they'll say like that you can put something in your hand and you can go, okay, you can see that from your perspective, right? But your perspective is like, say, from here, right, looking at it, and you can you change your perspective and look at it from different angles? And it's like, yeah, I can see it from any angle I want. I can see it from the bottom, as if my hand isn't even there if I want to, or have my hand kind of half visible or entirely blocking, and I can just change it, and I can see all of that in my head, and I can even see the inside of this from inside out. So, and I can see the individual cards. I can see everything, and that's why my brain does it. It just shows me all of that at the same time. But apparently, when they do the test, they just ask people, "Can you move your perspective to another point and another point?" So yes, I can do that, but it's like the same as if I'm just trying to see it from what I can see. So, and I think that's the difference between mine and someone else's. Is mine's very much I can control it and I can choose what I see and what I don't see. Whereas for a lot of people with dyslexia, when they get confused, their brain will automatically try to see it from a different angle, a different perspective. And when you do that with a two-dimensional bit of paper with writing on it, because it doesn't work in 3 dimensions, apparently, so they say. I mean, I'm just going by what somebody with the knowledge said. The words actually move and the letters start to move on the page because the brain can't translate between the 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional. And I find that really fascinating. I'm like, wow, that's incredible. So if anyone's watched, like, say, Beautiful Minds, and you sort of see where he's like watching something and suddenly everything starts moving around, but in a more kind of controlled way, it's like that, but you're not in control of it. So then you suddenly get confused and you can't read what's on the page. And I'm like, that's a mental idea, but I kind of get what they're saying because I can do that. Like, but I can do it like with purpose. I can move what I perceive around and stuff. So that's how, like, when I was like designing the van, for instance, I can literally visualize the inside of the van. I can do it right now. I can see my van inside, and I can move everything around and switch things and see how they would fit in my head. And all I have to do is just make sure, once I figure out how I want it, take measurements and make sure that everything will actually fit, because it's not exactly the most exact science to just in my head move things around. But yeah, fascinating stuff, dyslexia. Really fascinating stuff. And it's not what people think most of the time. People think, oh, it just means you can't learn. It's like or you have difficulty reading. It's like, it's nothing. That is nothing to do with what it is at all. Anyway, I've ranted a bit. Sorry. Man's charged. Yeah, I look at that. Beth saying AI is really terrible for the environment. Yeah, just like using massive amounts of processing power for something that we don't really need at this point. But I do think in the future AI will have either massively catastrophic effects on the human race or massively beneficial. It's going to be massive one way or the other. Maybe a bit of both. I don't know, but it's going to be really useful when we get there. But yeah, it's not great because the amount of power it needs. But it's more that we make power in a really stupid way. We could make power so much better. Like, we shouldn't be dependent on fossil fuels and stuff anymore. We really shouldn't. JJ Nev saying AI is the future. I'm all for it. Fair enough. Sparker, did anyone see how Jim Browning calling out the AI video call? I don't know what you're talking about, Sparker. That sounds interesting. Dan was saying, I do talk on it, yes, no camera, mostly screams when it's horror games. Oh, I'm gonna have to get a Twitch account and watch, Damsel. I think you did email me, didn't you? So you could email me again and you could tell me what maybe send me a link for your Twitch handle or whatever I need to be able to find you. Unless you want to post it on the community on my channel. I don't know if you're happy with other people seeing it. I don't know how private you are about it, but yeah, I'd definitely like be interested to hear you losing your stuff while playing a funny game. Mikey's saying the UK has a really nice report on the negative effects of 5G. Oh, what are the negative effects of 5G, please, Mikey? There you go. Tell us about that. XYZ saying, one advice for females. Are you asking for advice for females, or are you about to give us one? Beth saying, I love that you believe gender is a spectrum. So many men these days don't seem to get that. Yeah. Ooh. I don't know how to respond to that one. Gender is difficult. and it's a whole weird thing. And I'm going to be honest, my thoughts on it are not fully formed, partly because I'm not fully informed. Yeah, so they're not fully formed because I'm not fully informed. Right, I haven't met enough people with like, you know, like whatever you want to call it, but different genders and on the spectrum of that, as you call it. Like I haven't met enough people to make an informed judgment. Me and Tim have had some conversations about this, and we don't necessarily see eye to eye about some of the stuff. Whereas me and Sienna have had conversations, and we see eye to eye on pretty much the big stuff as far as I can tell. But it's a very difficult subject because there's a lot of people who are like basically, I hate to use the term affected by this, but that's kind of how you got to say it, really. I don't know how to, or going through it, like experiencing it or whatever. And they have a different perspective on it. So I asked him about some of his stuff to try to explain to me like how he felt about it. This was a private conversation between me and him, so I won't tell you what he said because it's not my place to give you levels of private stuff. But I will say that it was very enlightening, to say the least. And I am very interested to be able to ask the same questions to somebody else who identifies as non-binary to see if their experience of it is the same or different to his. I'm going to hazard a guess it'd be different because everyone's an individual. And this is realistically my thoughts and how I feel about most things, which is that I treat people specifically in very as an individual. So I don't treat somebody as part of a group. And I tried to explain this to Tim actually, because he was all sort of chatty about, oh well, you know, this group is that, this group is that. And I'm like, you are generalizing a lot. I don't like this at all. You're grouping people together and saying these people are. I'm like, sure, some people have similar traits and personality sort of like behaviors and patterns to other people. But I don't like grouping people together. I don't like boxing people into a box. I'll treat each person I meet and interact with as that individual. And I think I was explaining this to somebody recently. I don't know who I was talking to about it. How I don't really, like in my head, I don't think about people's genders at all when I'm talking to somebody, generally speaking. Like there's an awareness somewhere, sure. And certainly if I'm speaking to someone I find attractive, I'm very aware of their attractiveness, for instance. But like, you know, it's not I'm going, oh, like, you know, in my head, female, blah, 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 whatever. It's like, it's just, oh, you know, she's really attractive. Not to say that I couldn't find somebody attractive and it turns out they're non-binary. Sure, that'll be a thing at some point, might well happen. But I haven't met that many people who are non-binary is what I'm saying. So I just haven't had enough experience in that to really to form things like opinions about genders and stuff, and I'm not really that well informed. Yeah, so I still just continue to treat people as an individual, and just do my best. Thankfully, Tim makes it very easy, and I can just call him, and that's fine. If I had to call him they, I'd be a bit like, oh, that's a lot of effort. Do I have to? But yeah, you know, respect where respect's due, really, and as simple as that. Spark saying, Molly, can you hold 4 fingers up in front of your face? Sure. Hold on. There you go. Whoops. Sorry. It's because I'm AI, you see. I accidentally added an extra finger. Forgive me. It happens. It happens, you know. I'm AI. I'm learning as I go. Mike is saying, we're currently being radiated by 300 different types of frequency waves. Probably more than that, because there's a lot of radiation coming from the sun. And in all fairness, the electromagnetic spectrum is a full-on spectrum. Yeah, from everything over, like, is it gamma rays at one end and down to the other one, which is like, I don't know, like the sort of radio waves and things and whatnot. And in there you've got like the visible spectrum, the ultraviolet, the infrared. You've got X-rays, microwaves, all that coming from the sun. Crazy amount. Anu saying, hey, beautiful. Hey yourself. Thank you very much. I'm sure you're just as beautiful. PCJ saying, he's not AI. Hate to break it to you. AI can't create such a beautiful man. That's the telltale. You just couldn't do it, could you? Teddy's saying, how tall are you, Moldy? I'm 6 foot, Teddy. I'm not sure why that matters to anyone here, but yeah, I'm 6 foot. Not Alpha Mayor saying, are you an AI? Yes, I am. Yes, I am artificially intelligent. But no, I'm not actually AI. Oh, dearie me. So Mikey's saying, 6G, which China is preparing to roll out, will instantly fry your DNA. We need to get a bit of that then. I mean, it'd be permanent suntan, wouldn't it? Sorted. No need for the stuff in the bottle anymore. Spark saying, oh my God, I have that uppercase, lowercase thing. Laughing. Really? Oh, wow. I thought that was just my dad. But yeah, because, I mean, he struggles with spelling, but it's just funny how he does that. And I'm just like, yeah, that's all right. But he's definitely a three-dimensional thinker like me. And I see that all the time, like the way that works. He's always far more comfortable thinking three-dimensionally. Beth saying, were you here under a different name a few weeks ago? Oh, don't start that, Beth. We already we already started that, and PCJ got upset, so we'll not do that too much. PCJ saying, hey guys, what would you do if you were sexually attracted to the same gender but only older men and romantically attached? What? That's gone over my head already. I don't understand that question. Right. Well, I totally agree about the 5 a day thing, says Sue. Yeah, it's so market. It's not even like I learnt this from someone else. There's a good video out there. I think it might be from what's his name? Oh, he does loads of good stuff. He used to be like some sort of Mormon or something. I can't remember. Johnny Harris. That's it. Johnny Harris has put out quite a few good videos, and he does all the research. So I'm only spouting what I've learned from his channel, but I'm sure he did a thing about that. I mean, what I have seen is they've tried to recently, like in recent years, try to say it's 7 a day now and stuff like that, because they're like, we can get more sales if we can. Why did we say 5? We could have said 7. We could get more sales, because everyone is into a health kick these days. And yeah, they're just trying to jump on that bandwagon. But it was interesting because, like, in it, he kind of said how, like, when they were made, like, there was one where they had the food pyramid. In America, they have the food pyramid where it's like you should have only a little bit of the stuff at the top, and then a little bit more, and a little bit more, and then at the bottom you have like all this stuff. You have to have plenty of it, and essentially, like, you know, the ones where they're supposed to be on the healthy part, where you're supposed to have a lot of it and stuff. Essentially, just companies that wanted to be in there, as long as they could come up with some sort of semblance of this is a good idea, were basically paying to get in there. Essentially, to get the, you know, they were paying for the research so they could be in. Things like how we were convinced that milk is good for everybody, but yet actually, I found out that like a lot of people can't get a lot of stuff out of milk because once you go past about, I think, is it 5 years old, most of the world can't actually process the stuff in milk anyway, like any of the good stuff. So it's like a bit of a pointless like endeavor to have it. But yet they've kind of fed it to us enough that we started to essentially build up the ability to do it. And so you've got the countries where they've been feeding us milk for long enough, we can now actually do it. And I'm like, that's mad. That is mad. They basically forced us into it somehow. That's crazy. Beth saying, never mind. Never mind what? What's Beth saying? Oh, about the thing. Okay, yeah, fair enough. Me too, says Malia. Me too about... Is that about the lowercase, uppercase thing, maybe? I don't know. Spock saying, wow, if I was attracted to older men, I would be worried if they were going to immediately die. Oh, dear. I mean, yeah, that could be an issue, couldn't it? Spark saying, I'm nearly 60 years old, guys. I'm nearly 60, so older guys are gonna be like really old. Yeah, I guess so. PCJ asking what I do. I'm a window cleaner by trade. I used to run the business, but I sold it because it just got too stressful, and so now I just do the window cleaning, which I quite enjoy because it keeps me fit. I do enjoy being fit and healthy. So yeah, I kind of will always focus now on having an active job. If I if I could make career out of YouTube, I'd be definitely have a couple of channels, one of which would keep me active, like really, really active. And then what's PCJ saying O2? And then, well, there's probably 18-year-old guys who'd love to be with you. I guess you're talking to somebody in the. Are you talking to Sparker? That's random. Nick's saying, random question. If you had to choose, would you rather be Muslim or atheist? Um, I don't know how to choose something like that, but probably atheist. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'd be classed as. To be fair, Sten was asking me about my beliefs, and I have very specific beliefs. I don't know what they would fall under, and if they would have fallen under anything. There's probably a term out there. I reckon if I told Sparker what my beliefs are, he'd be able to tell me what the name is or what kind of group that I fall under. But again, I treat everything as a personal thing. Like I think even if you have a religion, like let's say you're Christian or you're Muslim, right? What you believe or like might not necessarily like for the like if there's enough people believe in one religion, then there's going to be a lot of crossover, but there'll probably be a tiny little bit of difference here and there between every little person. Well, every person there'll be a tiny little difference to the point where sometimes like you obviously you've got Christians splintered off into like so many different kind of other religions just because they didn't believe one thing as opposed to another in a sort of what we'd call a big way, but in tiny little ways, like so you'll have some people who like, 10 commandments, for instance. Well, just how much you think that's important, like, or whether you believe it at all. And there's again, that would be a spectrum on there as to how hardline you are on that compared to like, you don't believe in it at all to, okay, it's the be all end all, and there's all the bits in between. You have that for that part of the thing, and then there's another bit about this resurrection or that thing or whatever, and every religion has that. There's multiple parts, very complex thing, and every part of that. There's a spectrum to how much you believe that bit and how much you weight your religion towards a bit. So everybody's experience of it, even if you have the same religion, will be slightly different. And sure, you'll end up, as we were talking earlier, there's what is given as the normality, the generalized like normal, if we like, which doesn't exist. No such thing as normal exists, but everyone has an idea and what they think their religion is supposed to be and what they're supposed to follow the trend of. But in reality, it's all very personal, and you'll always feel differently slightly. That's that very late good night from Sue to Sienna. I feel, unless I'm so far behind in the chat that it's unreal. What's PCJ saying? Section not romantic. I tell you, I'm not following some of this anymore. I'm losing it. Did anything further develop with the lady you met in the B&B? Oh, you're talking about Jess, Teddy. No, because she's still with her guy, and I have a very hard line about doing anything with anybody who has a partner currently. If somebody's in an open relationship and they want you to explore something with me in certain ways, I might be open to that. I mean, that's a very like something I've never done, but it's not something that I'm entirely against if the situation was right. But otherwise, no. They're supposedly in an exclusive relationship. I'm pretty certain from what she said, the guy would not be happy to know that she'd essentially, I wouldn't say she tricked me into it, but she did go out on a date with me, having not informed me that she was, basically in a exclusive relationship. And I feel like that was a very dishonest thing to do, and she shouldn't have done that. She should have not done it the way she did it at all. She should have probably been telling me that from the get-go, and then I wouldn't have been asking her on a date. So yeah, bit of a dodgy one there. But at the same time, I can see she's not happy in a relationship, and she definitely should end the relationship at this point. It's not fair on her or the guy. But yeah, that's nothing to do with me at this point. She's got to go and do her own thing and make her own choices. But yeah, if she ever contacts me and she's actually single, you never know. Martha saying you like my shirt? Oh, thank you. It's just a really bog standard Fruit of the Loom super premium, which I do like because they're 100% cotton, and I like the fit. I do. I've been wearing these things for years, decades. I've been wearing these since I was in my teens. Well, maybe not teens, maybe in my 20s actually. I tell a lie. Early 20s, yeah. Mary, are your fave traveller? Saying random dollar amounts for some reason. Mo is in. Hi, Mo. Good to see you. Sienna is just chained up in the other room, waiting for me to give her the next set of instructions. No, I kid. She's back in Scotland. She's gone off for the night because she's got work in the morning. She's back starting a new job. Well, old job technically, but new job, full time now. So she's got to get an early start. So it means early to bed. PJ saying, is Tim gay? If you're talking about my friend Tim, yes, he is. Well, it's difficult. I'm not very good at answering this, but long and short of it, yes. Like, for many years, he identified as a gay man. Now he identifies as non-binary. So I don't know if so I haven't asked him this one, but does that mean he identifies as gay still? Which I think he kind of does, because he presents as a man at the very least. Like, if you look at him, you'd think man. So he's got the big beard and all that. So I don't know, but yeah. Do I love Canadians? Do you know what? I don't know if I've ever met a Canadian in real life, but I've got just Canadians. I don't know if they're nice. If they're nice to me, sure. Good night, all, says Sue. Good night, Sue. Take care. Malia saying, do you get when you hear a noise and you hear it again, like for a couple of days? I'm not sure what you're talking about. No. I mean, you've got to give me some more context to that. Maybe give me an example. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Outmax says, you watching the moon launch in 20 minutes? Moon launch? What's this moon launch thing? NASA's doing a blast off tonight, 16 minutes and counting. Really? Ooh, I didn't know about that. So what, they're sending some people to the moon? What's that about? Or is it just a ship? What is that? I mean, you can tell I do not watch the news. I mean, I've had a lot going on as well, so I've watched even less news than I normally would. But yeah. Beth saying, I see it as all just a social construct, gender expectations, the lot. Society made it up, so why not call it out? I feel like society was built around genders to a certain amount rather than the other way around. Just like, because there's different societies, different what do we call that? What's the word? I'm struggling for the word now. I forget now. Culture. There's different cultures out there. So things like how, obviously, like arranged marriages and things like that. And there's still cultures out there where women are seen as property, which is mental. But that formed from the fact that there was a gender difference. And there's obvious differences like physical like aspects. Men are stronger than women, just as a general rule. It doesn't mean it's a hard and fast rule, sure, but as a general thing, height, bone densities and muscle mass and stuff, just through genetics, of the hormones and stuff. So, and then that begets, power dynamics and stuff. So I feel like a lot of culture and society, at least in the early times, was built around that. And obviously there's still things that have held over from that. But yeah, I mean, but it is just mostly just like, I agree with you to the extent that, a lot of what we deal with these days is just a social construct, and there's a lot of conformity that is expected to what people say is correct. And this is far more prevalent now that we have so much like communications and social media and stuff like that. So yeah, it's like, people have a tendency to be prejudiced and they don't even realize it, just about really random stuff as well. It's really awful the way people get like that. But I just, yeah, I mean, I'm like the opposite. I'm like the anti of prejudice, just because I don't see a lot of things. Like I don't see people's age, I don't see people's genders. I just see a person as a person. And I think I've explained this before actually, that I do this really weird thing where I forget what age I am, so I assume I'm a certain age without thinking about it. You know, it's that kind of like old trope of like, oh, you're only as old as you feel, and like I generally feel like I'm in my late 20s, maybe in mid 20s sometimes, and so my brain doesn't remind me that I'm actually in my 40s, and I just go about my day just being me. But my brain also does this thing where it assumes everybody is the same as me. And we all do this to an extent. You kind of assume other people are like you. So when they do something, you assume their motivations would be the same as yours. And you assume that they're going to be aware of the same things you are, think the similar things as you. So when you see them do something that you consider to be super rude, you think they're being rude. And you also think they're being deliberate because you couldn't do anything like that without knowing that you've done it. But actually, to this person, they weren't even thinking, they weren't aware of it, because it's just something they don't pay attention to. And they didn't consider it rude, they just were not even focused on it, because to them, they experience it differently. But it's very hard for us to see that sometimes as people. It's very easy to tend towards thinking that everybody is just like us, and then impart our own sort of like moral standards and internal guidance on these people. But it's not the case at all. But my brain does do that. It kind of just assumes people are like me, and it's like I have to consciously think, oh, this person's actually older than me or younger than me. I mean, sometimes it's really obvious. Like, you know, you see a kid. I don't think I'm a kid, so I know they're a kid. But my brain has three modes. They're younger than me, they're the same age as me, and they're older than me. It simplifies it down really, really loads. So I think of old people, like kids, and then people my age, and then it's the same as that with everything else. Everything gets boiled down very simply, so I can just deal with people. And only once I get to know somebody do I then build up this complex image of who they are and all the nuances. Because let's face it, you don't know anybody like 100%, and you do have to take time to understand people. And Spark saying that proves you are not AI. I knew it really. Well, I am so far behind. I do apologise. I'm just going to like literally. I'm just going to skip forward a bit. I'm just going to go right to the end. If I've missed any chat, I apologise, but it's getting so late. I've got 2 hours. I'm going to wrap this up, so I'm just going to get right down to the bottom. And I can see why I'm behind. This thing is flying, so I'm not going to be able to read everything. Gary's saying first date. Jeff saying terrible. I mean, a lot of this just has no context, so I can't even. I don't even understand. We've got too many randoms in. This is what's happened. And Spark is saying, surely, dreams, you should choose your religion. So yeah, can I find out what Beth has been saying? Stacey and saying, hi handsome. Hi Stacey. Lovely to have you in. I always like a compliment. Adam saying, what's my age again? You must be the same as me, mid-20s somewhere, surely. So what was Beth saying? I was born a Reformed Jew, so I have no idea what that means. Sorry, Beth. But my dad didn't really practice, so I ended up growing up culturally Christian. Okay. I even went to a Catholic boarding school, believe it or not. Wow. My mum went to what she called a nun school because it was all taught by nuns. And she had so many good stories about that. I used to say I was atheist, says Sparker. However, I feel like I'm missing out on something many people enjoy. So now I identify my religion as the Universal Life Church, which, strange enough, I am a reverend of. Cool. I think I'm going to be part of Sparker's church, the Universal Life Church. I like that. That sounds really cool. That is brilliant, Sparker. And Stacey said my hair looks great. Thank you very much, Stacey. I think it looks awful today. I mean, it's a state because I've just been working and then just got onto the stream. I literally went from working to just eating dinner and then getting on stream just because it was such a late finish at work, because I spent a lot of the day dealing with the company trying to get my van back, essentially. Absolute nightmares today. Nightmares. But I appreciate you, Stacey. Thank you for all the lovely compliments. Biscuits for L. So Biscuits saying, I love something or other. Do you? I don't know what or who that is. I'm going to be honest. PCJ saying, why would he eat what? Who's what? What? Spark saying the tenet of Universal Life Church is do the right thing. Oh, that is powerful. That is powerful. I mean, I think the first one should be know the right thing, and then the second one should be do the right thing. Because let's face it, a lot of people don't even know what the right thing is half the time. Can we go back to talking about Peaky Blinders, last Johnny? We won't talk about them in the first place, but I love the Peaky Blinders. That's a great show. I need to see the movie. I mean, damn, that looks like it's going to be good. I mean, I don't know if it's out already yet or it's not, but I mean, I need to watch that like whenever I can. Do I like bangers and mash? I used to. Can't eat them anymore because I cannot eat pork, which is a pain in the bum. But there we go. Adam was saying, sniff, sniff. Is it snowing in the UK today? No, but I do have a bit of hay fever going on, which is always really fun. It's just that season. It's like in the evenings and that, and I don't think it's helping me being in the B&B, to be honest. My hay fever the last few years has been really decently like going away, and then the one time I spend like the spring in a B&B, my hay fever starts going wild, which is not fun. Nick saying, dreams I was born into Christian family. I'm agnostic myself. Religions are disappointing to say the least. I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I do have beliefs that I have, but I don't really want to get into them here. We try to avoid politics and religion and any heavy subjects here, but I'm allowing a little bit of religious talk just because people are more just talking about themselves and their own experiences rather than getting into any heavy debates. We don't mind a bit of fun stuff here, we just don't like the big heavy debates. A name that I'm not going to pronounce saying, hello, anyone here with POIS? I have TBIS. What on earth is that? That's a lot of, I don't know what those letters mean. Beth saying that's so true, Nick. About the religions are disappointing. Yeah, I mean, my thoughts on religions are this: is that if you think about it, it's a small group of people telling a larger group of people how they are supposed to live. And they are saying they have the right to do this because of maybe things that were written or something a long time ago, which don't have a lot of bearance in today's world. And some of the things that they say, I agree with, like do unto others as you, like as you would have others do unto you, or whatever, love thy neighbour, that sort of thing. I like the spirit of that. Nice. But there's always that thing where they overstep the line and start trying to control people in ways where I feel like, nah, not cool at all. So I don't do well with extremist stuff. I think anyone taking anything to an extreme has lost the plot, and it doesn't matter what that is. If you take anything to an extreme, you've gone too far. Even if you take running to an extreme, so anyone doing marathon running is, they've lost the plot. Why are you putting your body through that? But especially if you're taking anything cerebral to, or like belief-wise, to an extreme. Like I have my set of beliefs, what I think life is about, and how we should live it. But I wouldn't try to press that on anybody else. I certainly don't think that I need to be taking anything to an extreme, like some people do. It's crazy. But yeah, it is what it is. Religion is a fair bit of a pain most of the time, I think. Just people being forced into boxes where they shouldn't really be. But at the same time, it has its benefits. So for a lot of people, they might feel outcast, feel lonely, feel like they don't have a community, and it's a way of them finding a community. That I like. I like there's some people I meet who are religious, but they have a really lovely attitude. They're just open to people. They want to help. They're being positive. They are open to people joining their community. That sort of that sort of thing, absolutely beautiful. But that isn't really about the religion so much as the people who are part of it wanting to be, you know, like good and be like nice to the people around them. You don't need religion for that. But like I say, like having something that you can say you're part of. So, you know, whether it's to do with like, you know, even like communities with like say LGBTQ plus or whatever all the letters are, you know, that's people banding together as a community to give themselves somewhere they feel like they belong. And it feels like you have strength in numbers, and we always feel like we need that, especially in this world. It's not a perfect world, so you kind of feel like you need strength in numbers. You need to have people there to support you. And unfortunately, a lot of people who have been like pushed out of their family because their family don't want to know them because they're different, which, you know, this is a bad thing. People who push others away because they're different, it's bad. You shouldn't do that, but people do. You know, this is the world we live in. So then those people have been pushed out, feeling isolated, feeling alone. They need somewhere to go. So if they've got groups they can go to, that's a good thing. You know, that's a powerful thing sometimes. If those groups are wholesome, want them there for the right reasons and welcome them and will be essentially like a new family for them, great stuff. But the trouble is even that sometimes isn't what they get. So that's how you get cults and stuff, isn't it? Where, you know, it's then not very healthy. And one of the women I dated, right, she was when she was younger part of a cult because her mum joined a cult. And she told me this whole story about how, like, you know, she was quite rebellious about it. She didn't want to be there and stuff, so she ended up getting out. But like her mum just gave tens of thousands of pounds to this cult. Just ridiculous. And like the control they exerted, like she just wanted to be happy, and they were like, you have to do this to be happy, you'd have to do that to be happy. And they got her into like basically into a relationship she shouldn't have been in, and they got her like giving them loads of money that she shouldn't have been giving them. And when the relationship wasn't good, they had her doing things to improve the relationship that, in my mind, that isn't going to improve relationship. You're just making it easier for the guy to basically control her. And I was like, wow, this is bad. And I couldn't believe the story, but it was 100% true. Just mental. But it all came down to you know, her mum just didn't feel like she had anybody in her life who was supporting her. She didn't have a community. She didn't have like any family to lean on. And she needed that, and she was seeking it, and she unfortunately found it with some very bad people who took mad advantage of that. So yeah, there's bad people out there. So it's, you know, it's a bit like basically saying, like, you know, a gun, like a gun is not evil. It's just a tool. It's a thing that's to be used, and it's what you do with it that counts. So it's the person holding the gun who's going to be the, you know, the deciding factor. You know, what's it used for, good or bad. And it's like that with like religion and any kind of community stuff. I feel they can be good or bad. So spoken out. I think sometimes it's inherited, and if you don't conform, you get cast out. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing worse than being told you have to do something else, otherwise your family and your community are going to disown you. I feel like that is so wrong, but it happens so much. You know, I've seen so many TV documentaries on this sort of thing as well. And the fact that this stuff still goes on when people should know better by now, it's just mental. Saxo saying, isn't it a damn shame to not believe in anything after this life, so I can see the positive side of it for that belief? Well, yeah, I have, as I said, a belief, and my belief is there is something after this life, for sure. It'll just be very different to what you believe. I can tell you that now. If I started spouting what I believe in here, people would be like, "What?" Well, actually, no. Sparker might actually like be, yeah, you're probably right. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people want to hear what I've got to say about that. Beth saying, I see it like nationalism. Both always end up getting so extreme no matter which way you look at it. Well, people get extreme because a lot of times it's just about control, and it's about making yourself feel better about your choices in life, where you are trying to, you know, just like sometimes it's just fitting in with other people. So like a lot of extremist kind of people end up like you hear all the time. The stories are there about people who are vulnerable getting dragged into them, and they kind of like if they come out of it and they tell their story, it's always the same. You know, they didn't have anybody. These people took them in, treated them well. They thought they'd found a family, but then they started asking them for things, and they kind of almost know what they're doing. It's really sick, that kind of thing. I feel like that's awful. And the most tragic thing about it is that there's that many people out there that are displaced from home and family and stuff. It's heartbreaking. It really is. Sparker saying he doesn't believe in an afterlife. Fair play. That's why I say each to his own about belief. Like what I believe doesn't have to be what somebody else believes. That's all good. I mean, I don't necessarily take comfort from what I believe. I just believe what I believe. It's just I've seen what I've seen, and I've experienced my experiences, and I've made my judgment as to what I think is and isn't the thing. And it has changed a little bit over the years, just as my experiences have changed. Because one thing I will say is I'm very plastic of mind. I'm not stuck in my ways. So if someone gives me some new information or I experience something new, I'm going to assimilate that and change my mind. It's just the way it works. Sachs is saying, well, that doesn't give me much purpose for now. If there is nothing after this life, just my opinion, Sparker. Yeah, again, welcome to your opinion. We love hearing opinions in this chat. It's what we're here for. We're here to talk. Gracie asking, am I still awake? No, I'm asleep, Gracie. I've been asleep for ages. And Spike saying, I absolutely don't condemn you, bud, and I wouldn't try to convince you otherwise. That's respect there. Moony Tot, did you work as a ranger before? Are you asking me? No, I've never been a ranger. Nick saying, I think a big issue first world countries face is that they have too much stress day to day, and many choose to be religious and purposeful, ignore that they are being lied to just to be in a community. Yeah, I mean, fair play. I feel like I'm kind of on the same lines as you. Slight differences though. Like I think I don't think people necessarily choose to be religious. They kind of find religion, or religion finds them. So and there's a bit of a difference in there. Subtle, I admit, but there's a bit of a difference. And the stress is definitely true. Day-to-day stress. But that stress comes from a lot of places. For instance, too many decisions. We have too many decisions in life. And I think that's just one reason why people like to seek out a community or religion that tells them what to do. It almost like reduces the amount of decisions you have to make. So, for instance, I do that in a very different way. So I only have 4 t-shirts to choose from on any given day. I've got more than 4 t-shirts, but essentially I've got 2 of these in this colour. I've got 2 of the same t-shirt in burgundy, and I've got 2 of the same t-shirt in heather grey, and I have 3 of the same t-shirt in white. And I basically choose between one of those on the day, and the choices are pretty straightforward. If I'm working, wear the dark colour, usually the navy. If I'm going out on a date or I'm doing something where I won't get too dirty and I want to look smart, wear the white one. If I'm on a day-to-day and I want to wear something that looks smart but might get a bit scuffed up, the grey one so it doesn't show up dirt. And then if I want to look smart and or I'm going fairly casual or whatever, but I don't want to wear the white one, I've got the red one. Job done. And it's like, but I keep it simple. I don't want like a million things in my closet, right? And the same thing, I just keep, every choice that I have, I keep fairly simple like that. And I like a simple life. I think simple life is a happy life. And a simple life means less decisions. And less decisions means less stress, okay? Obviously, life is never super simple, especially when I've got kids involved and stuff. But yeah, it's, I do my best with that. But I think some people, because there's all these decisions and all these stresses, and then the feelings that come after it if you get things wrong, and or the way that you've affected somebody else, and if your decisions have to include other people. Like I know people who, when it's a decision about something for them, no problem. But as soon as it's about other people, even if it's to what we're going to do when we go out, yeah, and we're doing it together, suddenly that person doesn't want to make that choice because it involves somebody else, and they don't want to deal with somebody else's kind of the responsibility of choosing for that other person. So they're like, no, we do what you want. And they'd rather just do something they don't want to do, as opposed to put in their voice about what they'd like to do and help with the choice. And that tells you how powerful it is, or rather how big a thing it is for some people about making choices. And if you can have a religion or community that's telling you this is what you're supposed to do, people will literally give up their free will in order to avoid making decisions, because we have way too many in this day and age, which is where a lot of stress comes from, to be fair. I mean, there's other factors that cause stress, but yeah, it's a big one. It's a big one. A shout out for trying to get famous. Shout out to you. Wish people asking for shout outs wouldn't just say it a million times though, because it's just because I'm like, I'm reading through the chat, but here we go. So what we're saying, why you want to know about, so anyways, I now really need to know what Molly thinks about the afterlife. I'll tell you on a WhatsApp chat or something, Sparker. Do you know what? No, do you know what we'll do, Sparker? When we meet up soon, okay, we can have this conversation about the afterlife and what my beliefs are then, okay? Because it's a proper back and forth, and you'll be well interested in what I think. I think you'll find it rather interesting. It's definitely different to a lot of people, and yeah, But I don't know if I'd say it's cutting edge, but it's just what I've like I was talking to Sienna about it on the weekends, and yeah, it's changed a little bit from when I was younger. So like many years ago, like decades ago, I probably had this conversation with Noah when we were at university. It's like a proper kind of conversation at university. We used to talk about everything. Like you'd have one conversation at university with a person over the span of an evening, and it would go everywhere. Like you'd talk about everything, literally everything, right? And so the universe would come up, and like, what is the universe? What does the edge of the universe look like? How big is it? This sort of thing. And definitely, like, religion and beliefs came up. And so I had this kind of formed back then, but since then I've refined it and added to it a little bit here and there, just tweaked it from, as I say, from my experiences, my understanding. And I kind of have some things which I'm solid on. I go, I know, I strongly believe. Other things I'm like, I think this. I don't think there's anything where I go 100% this is it. I just go, this is what I think. But it's with me, as with everything, it's all a sliding scale of like it's a percentage of surety rather than, oh, I'm absolutely certain. That's why I think even if anyone says to me, I'm 100% certain that I'm correct with what I believe, I'm like, well, you're an extremist already in my mind, because you shouldn't be 100% sure. And I think anyone who has a healthy amount of like compos mentis would go, yes, like you can't be sure, and that would be the opposite of having faith. Faith acknowledges that you don't know, but you believe. Anyone goes, I'm 100% sure, I know, no. It's like, no, you don't know, and you're a fool if you think you do. You have to acknowledge that you have faith, and if you have faith, that means you can't know, because you can't have, like, you can't say I have faith that I'm holding the dad jokes in my hand. No, I know that I'm holding the dad jokes in my hand. Therefore, it's not a point of faith. It's basic logic, that part. And I think anyone who, if you talk to any kind of rabbi or like, I don't know, priest or something like that, they'd acknowledge that if they're smart enough. They go, yes, yeah, of course, we don't know, which is why it's faith. So Beth saying, exactly the same now with Tommy 10 names, Katie Hopkins, Robert. Oh yes, they're all just using Christianity for their own purposes. Right, well actually no, I don't know all those people then. It's quite disgusting to be honest. I don't know what you're talking about there, Beth, to be honest, but I think that's because it's probably about stuff that I don't know. That's fair enough. I gave you a shout already trying to get famous. Spark saying, my wardrobe is whatever comes out of the wash is the current outfit, and when the other day's outfit comes out of the wash, that's the new outfit. Fair enough. I mean, I don't have a lot of clothes, but like, yeah, I mean, I keep my choices pretty simple. I think that's the thing about van life. It attracted me because I like a simple life. I like to keep things to a minimal, like a minimalist life. That's what minimalist living. That's what I like. Um, and Sparker's saying he loves the whole philosophy thing. Fair enough. If you've seen my new post, but I've got a new job, Sparker. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Yeah, nothing in life is 100% Sparker, except the fact that at some point in any given week, I will pass wind a significant number of times. That's 100%. I don't know if I could say every day that I do it. I probably do, but I don't keep track of it. But yeah, I'd say within a week there has to be at least a number of passings of wind, and certainly I will need the toilet at some point. Yeah, the fluids must go somewhere. So there are some things that are 100%, but they're the pretty obvious things. Like it's 100% that I'm going to need to take a breath sometime in the next 5 minutes. Like there's, oh dear. Nick saying 100% is that we all can't prove that we are not marionettes in one big system. What? Nick going right over my head with that one. I don't understand that one. Best out. Been sorting my clothes for 3 days now. LOL. More for you, Beth, for having too many clothes. There we go. Not that I'm suggesting that anything dodgy, but I quite like the idea of what the Ferengis do. If anyone here is a Star Trek fan, you'll know what I'm talking about. I like the idea of that. I do because I'm a red hot blooded man, but yeah, I like the idea how the Ferengis rolled with that. And I was like, yeah, that's a great idea. Of course, it only works if you've got a warm climate. Could be really bad if you lived in a cold climate. That one. Spock saying, love this dreams. It's exactly the same now with whatever. All them names again. It's quite. You've repeated what you said. Yeah, I don't. You two know more about that stuff than I do. Honestly, I haven't got a clue. Yo, what up, dog? Says FaZe. Am I saying that right? Anyway, it's nearly 2.5 hours, and I was supposed to keep this short, but I've kind of got sucked into the conversation as per usual. You know me, guys. I love to have a chit chat and a chin wag. I think this one's definitely been more of a chin wag than a chit chat. If I'm honest, I've gone a lot monologue-y here. FaZe saying, do blind people see dreams when they are sleeping? That's a good question. Do you know what? Interestingly, I've got a feeling that they do, but it's not the way that we perceive them. I kind of remember somewhere in a vague bit of memory somebody describing it, like a blind person actually describing what they see. But also, a lot of blind people can still see a little bit of something. Like it's only if you're talking like completely 100% blind that you might be talking about. In which case, again, it depends. Did they used to see and then they lost their sight? In which case, they probably still dream in just like everybody else. But if they've never been able to see ever at all anything, then yeah, that's an interesting question. I'd be interested about that. Dirty Harry saying, do you know Earth is flat? Yes. Yeah, it definitely is. Well, it's not flat. It's got depth to it. It's like a big disc, but then you've obviously got it's a big whole deep bit underneath. Surely. I love to wind them up. Right, Spark is saying, great to see everyone, and we've gone down a rabbit hole or two, or 3, I reckon, Sparker. Nick, just trying to say that it's hard to disprove the idea that we are not marionettes. What even is a marionette? I don't even know. You're using big words on me, Nick. I don't understand everything. Faye saying, how would you describe red colour to a blind person? Ooh. I'd say it starts with an R and ends with a D. It's got an E in the middle. No, I'd tell them something really rude, right? And say, and you basically say, feel how warm your cheeks are. That's red. There you go. Sparker saying, the Earth is the same shape as your head. Yeah, exactly. Like basically a disc, but then it's got depth to it. There you go. Dear me. A puppet. Oh, a marionette is a puppet. Okay. Well, a lot of people are sheep is basically the better analogy. They just follow along whatever with the crowd and with what the leaders are doing. Um, like everybody's looking towards the leaders, and everyone's just sort of following the crowd, and yeah, doing that. And there's very few of us who are actually looking around. But there are some who are looking around, like paying attention to the world around them, and like making decisions on their own. Like, very, 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 very rare. Very hard to do as well. Even if you can see that something isn't right, if everybody around you is doing something else, and especially if there's like these pressures, like saying, "Oh, well, if you did that, no one's gonna want to be around you and like know you or whatever, and you get cast out." Even though you know it's not the way that you want to do it, or it's even the wrong way, then you might end up doing the same thing as everyone else around you because it's what's expected. Um, Elijah's saying it's weird that you brought that up. I fell on. What is going? What on earth are you talking about? What are you talking about, Elijah? Oh my lord! Yeah, dearie me. Look, it wasn't my intention to trip you up and have you fall on it, my man. I'm joking. Mo's back in. Um, Hi Mo. Yeah, Sienna's good. She's probably in bed by now, hopefully asleep, because she's got work in the morning. She's got to get up. I've got work as well, but I'm terrible. I just stay up a bit too late anyway. But you can tell I'm a bit tired, so it is time to call it, I think. Spock says, like magicians, don't watch the hand behind the back. Ah, dear me. Elijah asking if me and Sinner are dating. No, we're not. We're just really good friends. Mo asking how the boys are. Yeah, they're solid. They're with their mum. I was chatting to Henry today, asking him about what he would like to do over the Easter holidays. Like depending on what happens with the van coming back, which I'm hoping to get back tomorrow. But we wait and see about that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I've got a feeling I won't be doing a huge amount with Henry. I'll probably see him for a couple of days, like a little bit of time here and there. But yeah, he's definitely a lad of his own now. He wants to do his own thing. He's not interested in father-son time much these days. He seems to have just grown up overnight. It's really weird, but at the same time, kind of expected. It's what all the other parents always say about. So it's not exactly a surprise. It's a bit disappointing that it's happened, but all us parents go through it. I guess we want our kids, you know, I mean, there's a bit of you wanting them to grow up and like get on with life, but then there's obviously a bit of you kind of, you like them as they are, and as they change into each phase, you kind of miss the previous phase. So there was like the baby phase, and then they become a toddler, and you miss the baby phase, but you kind of like the fact they're getting on, and then they go up a bit more, and you kind of miss the older phase, and every time they change into a new phase, you kind of miss the old one. And I miss the old Henry, but at the same time, he's got to grow up, he's got to do his own thing, and he's making a lot of friends, which I quite like. And he's making me proud. He's doing really good at school, so yeah, I can't complain. As a dad goes, he's doing right by everything. Would it be better if me and his mum were together still, and I was seeing him every day? In terms of being father, sure, but not in terms of being with his mum, no. So we deal with the situation we've got, really. Spock saying, I wish our kids would grow up to be honest. Molly. Oh, wait, hold on. There's not a lot of punctuation there, so that could be. I wish our kids would grow up to be honest, Molly. As in, you don't want them to grow up to be dishonest. Or there is, I wish our kids would grow up to be honest, Molly. Um, so I'm guessing you're going to go. I'm guessing you want your kids to grow up, but they haven't, because I think you mentioned how they don't act their age. Yeah, a lot of kids these days, they don't understand responsibility that well. I think there's a lot of factors involved with that. You can't put it all on the parents, not really. Like this modern age has a lot to do with it. Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, really. But you do what you can. I mean, whatever. Although we can send them to the shop for beer. Oh dear. I mean, if they're that old, if they're 18 plus, just boot them out. Boot them out and make them deal with it on their own. They're old enough by now. See if they make their way in the world. It's like ninja training. Throw them in, see if they sink or swim. It's about time. We have Ronan in. Hi, Ronan. Oh no, Bailey. So hi, Bailey. Good to see you. Honesty is up to them. I won't be testifying for them. Oh, Sparker. Oh dear, you're cracking me up tonight. Faye's asking, if you freeze hot sauce, wouldn't it become cold sauce? Well, no, it's not called hot sauce because it's hot in heat. It's hot in flavour and spice. It has a lot of capsicum in it. So it's just frozen hot sauce. Come on, that was too easy. You've got to make them harder than that. Elijah, you said something that doesn't make any sense in the modded chat, and so I'm not going to unmod it because it doesn't make any sense. Throw them in, sink or swim. I thought that was witches. No, witches is burn at the stake, surely. No, I remember watching a movie, it's like about The Last Ninja or something like that, and basically he takes his like I think like the mum is trying to tell him he should train him or something, and he doesn't want to train him, and or something, and then basically he gets to the point where, okay, I'm going to do it then. So he takes him around to the back of the building and literally throws this little baby into a big barrel of water, and the woman freaks out, tries to go for it, and he stops her, and the baby kind of starts to sink, and then after a while realizes what's going on and decides to start swimming, and then it swims up, and then at that point he's decided, yes, okay, this little one is ready for training, and then starts to train him. And the whole idea of the training is keep pushing yourself, and even when you don't think that there's a way to solve the problem at hand, you have to think out the box and find a way. So things like how, like, he'd expect him to walk along a creaky, like a set of creaky boards, like floorboards, without making a sound. And after a while, the kid gets frustrated. It's impossible. Like, it's impossible. And so the guy throws down a cat onto the floor, and the cat runs across it and it doesn't make a sound. He's like, yeah, but that's not fair. The cat's lighter. And he says, well, how, like, no, it's got, and he just smacks him or something with a cane, because he kept just smacking him with a cane every time he just didn't want to do what he was going to say. And he says, like, like, basically in some form will work it out. So then he starts to work it out. There's a way to move his feet that the cat did to kind of like shift his weight, and then he gets it. And this is the whole kind of premise of the whole entire training. But yeah, but it does remind me of that, the whole sink or swim. But yeah, tough love. You can call it what you want, but sometimes you just gotta. The way I see it is adversity breeds growth. So as harsh as it is, the more adversity you go through in life, the more that you form your character and you build strength. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, essentially. The issue is that when you go through things, it's always better to do it with support around you and people who care. If you have to go through it, and I mean, there's obviously a point of stress which is too much, so you have to kind of like balance it out. But definitely having people around you to support you helps. So like, for instance, Sienna had to deal with the idiots and the stupid people in the chat the other night, and it did upset her, but she had me there to support her. I was able to kind of like make her feel a bit better about it. And then with a little bit of time, come the morning, she was feeling absolutely fine. And in fact, the next day, because we had like a really positive day, she was then really positive and was in a really good mood. Whereas if she'd had to deal with that on her own, and that's all she could think about for the rest of the night, the next day she could have woken up and been in an absolute funk. And yeah, that could get you stuck. So there's the difference of having support, but essentially, yeah, just, but the adversity can really breed like a lot of strength and growth within you. So yeah, yeah, still awake, proud. Yeah, my sense his phone rang. That's no problems. Bailey said I'll be performing the Gampit Road on the 7th of April this year. Oh, that's cool. You're doing a performance. Nice one, Bailey. Adversity breeds growth is a solid theory. Yes, it is. Unfortunately, some people have to go through it very young, so they grow up really fast, which is then a little bit like unfair. But at the same time, then they've got an advantage on the other people. Yeah, and so there were levels to it because obviously it's a certain amount of character as well. Two different people go through the same hardship. One might form very negative sort of traits because of it. It might shut them down. They might struggle. And then another one might actually just like learn from it, grow, and learn not to treat people the way they've been treated, learn to avoid like conflicts and how to resolve them and stuff like that, or whatever it is. They might grow from it, right? And the other person might shut themselves down or basically shrink from it. So that's a lot to do with internal character, which, can sort of like, be switched by some actual like growth, but in the slower stages. And I find people who don't have so much character need to deal with these things and have the sort of adversity slower, if you like, and have time to build. But it's also more vitally important that those people have more support. It's externally, but if the people with character don't have support externally, they can still, even though they're growing, they can grow in bad ways. They can grow in ways where they think they're actually growing, but actually they're growing very negative tendencies. Like for instance, like if you grow in the way that you just suppress all your feelings because you think that's the way to deal with the world, then you've grown in a really bad way that's unhealthy, i.e. me. When I was a bit younger, and it's taken me quite a long time to learn that I shouldn't be repressing things, but actually experience them properly and processing them in a healthy way. But that's because I didn't have a lot of support when I was younger. So there's definitely a need for support externally, but also that adversity, if it's the right kind, with the right kind of character and support, it will breed very positive sort of like growth. And so while I don't think I'm actually saying boot your kids out on their behinds, what I am saying is, like, to whatever extent that you feel that they are capable, where they could probably succeed, it's kind of your job to make them work for themselves. So not necessarily let them lean on you too much, and then they'll grow. That is kind of the way that it's supposed to work, and that's kind of what I do with my boys. Don't always get it right. Sometimes I push a bit too hard. Other times I'm not tough enough. I mean, nobody gets it right. You just do the best you can. That's all we got. That's all we got, really. Nick says, "Would you?" Oh, Nick's throwing another one out here, I'm sure. Would you choose to live your life? Would you choose to live your life you did up to now if you knew you would live at least 200 years? I don't understand that at all, Nick. I don't understand the question or the premise. And we've got somebody spamming far, so they're getting a timeout until the stream is done. Similar to a boy named Sue, the Johnny Cash song. I don't know what that is. But Bailey's saying he's a stage actor and a voice actor in his spare time. That's cool, Bailey. Well done. Yeah, don't worry. I got rid of the spammer. I've boshed them straight off. And we've got Balaclava Boy back in. I'm going to unmod what he said. For how many hours have you been yakking on for now? Grow up. Never truer words. Yeah, I've been yakking on for way too long now. And yeah, I probably should grow up, shouldn't I? But there we go. Beth, I really don't like Johnny Cash. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a massive fan of his music, to be fair. Not my cup of tea, really. Why do I keep itching the back of my face? Where's the back of my face? I mean, I do keep itching my nose because I've got hay fever at the moment and my sinuses are very itchy. I've probably heard it, to be honest. I've heard a lot of Johnny Cash songs. I'm just not really a fan of most of them. There's a couple that are all right, but yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. I mean, you have to understand I'm into EDM and house and, yeah, just like, you know, like deep house basically would be like my wheelhouse. Very electronic music of kinds. That's just what I like. I like something with a nice like proper beat and rhythm and melody, and something I can like really feel in my bones. And I don't necessarily need a lot of great lyrics, but good lyrics help as well. Um, but yeah, but they have to be very emotive. I don't want anything too philosophical, just like something that's very emotive. Because I feel music more than I listen to it. But then I also like some happy songs that I can just sing along to, some nice pop that got like, you know, good old sort of sing along, a bit of soppy stuff. Sure, you're into trip hop and thrash. Open your minds. Avicii is the greatest. Yeah, I mean, solid stuff. That they, well, they, I don't know, put out. Yeah. Anyway, I'm definitely calling it now. It's I've been meaning to shut this thing down for about half an hour now. It is time. It's been lovely chatting to you guys, and we have kind of got the best of the best left in here. I see Sparker, Gracie, and Beth here, still with me. But yeah, time to call it, guys. I need to get some sleep. I also need to do my Duolingo, which I hope. Oh, I've missed that. Oh dear, it's gonna. I think I like ran out of streak freezes, so I need to. I probably need to do something to save my streak. I will see you guys anon, or basically later today at this point, because I've let it get past midnight, which is silly me. But yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Love you all, and in the meantime, have fun.